Chapter 4350. Yi Chu Haohen was also very smart. After the previous battle, he had already figured out the weaknesses of the tree and the crossing disaster ghost in the past 10 days. Hearing Yi Chu Haohen's explanation, everyone heaved a sigh of relief, but they still didn't dare to be careless. I suggest that the heavenly human tribe set up the ninth heaven battle formation and suppress the evil-avoiding ghosts with their strongest power. The other tribes should wait for an opportunity to act and support them from the side. Yi Chu Haohen said, I agree. I agree too. That's the safest way. The other heavenly human tribe members nodded. After all, they didn't dare to be careless in the face of something as strange as the evil-avoiding ghosts. The safest way was to set up the ninth heaven battle formation and gather everyone's power. Immediately, about 400 heavenly human tribe members flashed and began to set up a battle formation. Boom! A powerful aura soared into the sky, shaking heaven and earth and causing the void to rumble. They activated the battle formation and dashed toward the Earth Meridian, toward Lu Ming's location. Meanwhile, the angels and the other races were roaming around, assisting the heavenly human tribe and attacking whenever they had the time. When the battle formation set up by the heavenly human tribe approached the Earth vein, it condensed into a huge battle sword and slashed toward Lu Ming. Evil-avoiding ghosts. Lu Ming's mind moved. On the tree, more than a dozen evil-avoiding ghosts screamed and rushed toward the heavenly human tribe members. After the last battle, they had devoured many celestial tribe experts, and the dozen or so disaster-avoiding ghosts had become even more terrifying. Their bodies had expanded greatly, and they screeched as they charged toward the celestial tribe experts, clashing with the battle swords formed by the celestial tribe battle formation. Boom! 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 Rumbling sounds continued to ring out. More than 10 disaster-avoiding ghosts trembled violently. They were blocked and forced to retreat from the impact. Among so many heavenly human tribe members, there were naturally many who had mastered the 4 supreme heavenly powers. Therefore, the battle formation was also integrated with the supreme heavenly powers to suppress the evil-avoiding ghosts. However, it only pushed the evil-avoiding ghosts back and didn't hurt them. The battle sword formed by the ninth heaven battle formation was also weakened. The sword light dimmed a little, but it continued to slash toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression didn't change at all. He just stood there motionlessly. At this moment, the ground began to move. Rumbling sounds could be heard as roots extended from the ground and swept toward the battle sword. Dozens of roots wrapped around the sword. In the end, with a bang, the battle sword collapsed. Continue, shouted Yi Chu Haohen, and activated the 9 heavens battle formation. A heavenly human tribe member. This figure was from the heavenly human race. He wore a crown on his head and held a golden battle sword in his hand. He was incomparably imposing. Heavenly human tribe members. Kill him. The heavenly human clan's king bellowed. Holding a combat sword, he stepped into the void and charged toward Lu Ming. The combat sword slashed out, causing the void to tremble violently. The sword aura was shocking. He Hahahomen, tribe members is a tribe, Haohen Hahahomen, tribe member. After all, more than 400 strong cultivators of the heavenly human clan had fused together. Many of them had the strength of the 7th, 8th, and 9th great supreme god layers. How terrifying! Block it. Lu Ming bellowed and gave the order to the big tree. Whoosh! This time, hundreds of roots stretched out from the ground. The roots didn't attack. Instead, they intertwined to form a huge shield in front of the heavenly human tribe member. Clang! The shocking sword light slashed onto the shield made of intertwined roots, causing a loud boom. Endless sword chi spread out in all directions. However, the sword light was blocked in the end. This caused the expressions of the heavenly human clansmen to turn ugly. The tree's defense was too terrifying. They had set up a battle formation with so many of them. How powerful was its attack power? How could it be blocked? Continue! The Heavenly Human tribe members roared and continued to control the battle formation to launch a storm of attacks. However, dozens of attacks were blocked by the shield formed by the roots. Moreover, the shield formed by the roots was extremely flexible and could extend to thousands of miles away. No matter how the Heavenly Human tribe members attacked, they were blocked. You guys, escape from the side and kill Muyin. Yi Chu Haohen roared and gave an order to the Angel tribe and the Blood tribe members. Kill! The Angel tribe members escaped from the side and charged at Lu Ming. You're courting death. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with killing intent. The dozen or so disaster-avoiding ghosts returned to Lu Ming's side at an astonishing speed and charged at those races. Not good. Let's join forces. The angels, vampires, and other races experts roared and attacked the 11 crossing disaster ghosts with all kinds of attacks. However, their strength was still far inferior to the Heavenly Human tribe's supreme heavenly power. They couldn't suppress the disaster-avoiding ghosts at all. The disaster-avoiding ghosts rushed past them and charged at the Angel tribe, the Blood tribe, and the other experts. They rushed into their bodies. These people screamed miserably as their bodies quickly shriveled. Their essence, chi, and spirit were all devoured. When the others saw this scene, they were so scared that their bodies turned cold and they retreated frantically. The dozen or so disaster-avoiding ghosts chased after them and killed more than a dozen experts, devouring their flesh and blood. The remaining people fled far away in a sorry state. They were still in shock and didn't dare to approach the mountain range again. Go! Lu Ming controlled the dozen or so disaster-avoiding ghosts and charged at the Heavenly Human tribe's battle formation. However, the Heavenly Human tribe's battle formation was indeed powerful. There was a layer of defensive barrier around them that the disaster-avoiding ghosts could not break through. Just like that, the two sides entered a stalemate. The Heavenly Human tribe members wanted to kill Lu Ming, but they were blocked by the big tree. Lu Ming wanted to kill the Heavenly Human tribe members, but he couldn't do it. In the blink of an eye, more than an hour had passed. At this time, the Heavenly Human tribe members wanted to retreat. Continuously activating the battle formation was very taxing for them. After an hour, many of them couldn't bear it anymore. If this continued, the battle formation might become unstable. In the end, the Heavenly Human tribe members retreated out of the mountain range and stopped. Damn it! Despicable bastards! Many Heavenly Human tribe members roared angrily. Lu Ming was clearly in front of them, but they couldn't kill him. This was unacceptable for them, who had always been high and mighty. In their opinion, all living beings in the primeval universe were lowly and lowly. They were all their slaves, and their lives were their blessings. Whoever they wanted to kill, they had to obediently let them kill them. They couldn't resist. However, not only did Lu Ming not let them kill him, but he also killed their people repeatedly. In their opinion, this was simply treason and heinous. He deserved to die 1,000 or 10,000 times. Let's recover first, then continue to set up the battle formation and kill our way over. I don't believe that the power of the big tree is endless. Yi Chiheo roared. Among the crowd, his anger and killing intent were the strongest. Chapter 43:51. That's right. Let's recover first, and then attack. I don't believe that the power of the tree is endless. The other Heavenly Human tribe members also roared. Immediately, the Heavenly Human tribe members took out the primitive pills and refined them to recover their strength. After refining the primitive pills, they recovered quickly. In a short time, they had fully recovered. After recovering, they continued to set up the array and charged toward Lu Ming. However, they were still blocked by the roots of the big tree. Lu Ming sneered. How could he not know what the Heavenly Human tribe members were thinking? However, they were doomed to be wrong. Would the tree run out of energy? That was impossible. Although they were far away from the disaster crossing sea, the tree could still absorb the fog from the disaster crossing sea unknowingly. As long as it absorbed the fog, the tree would not run out of energy. Therefore, no matter how the heavenly human tribe members attacked, it was useless. After a while, the heavenly human tribe retreated and then recovered and continued to attack. In this way, the stalemate lasted for 7 days. Still, no one could do anything to the other. The heavenly human tribe members were furious, but there was nothing they could do. In the end, they decided to retreat. They had no choice but to retreat. They could not afford to waste time. They had occupied the high-grade earth vein. If they returned to the high-grade earth vein to refine the primitive pills, how many primitive pills could they refine in a day? Every day they were delayed was a great loss. The 9 heavens battle formation should be set up by experts of the 9th layer of the Emperor God realm. That way, it will be the most powerful. Otherwise, the power will be impure. Among us, there are people of different cultivation levels. It is difficult for us to unleash the full power of the battle formation. That's why we can't break the tree's defense. Let's go back now and refine the primitive pills to increase our cultivation. When more people reach the 9th layer of the Emperor God realm, we can set up the battle formation again. It will be easy to break the tree's defense. A genius from the heavenly human tribe said. The others agreed with him. Although Yi Chu Haohen was unwilling, he had no choice but to retreat with the other heavenly human tribe members. In an instant, only Lu Ming and Yi Ling were left in the area. After the heavenly human tribe members left, it seems like they won't come back for a while. Yi Ling stepped forward and said, "That's right. This is a good opportunity for us. Let's make the best use of our time to cultivate." Lu Ming said. The two of them continued to refine great desolation pills. 7 days later, Lu Ming's desolate pills had already exceeded 12 million. At this time, he began to absorb the desolate pills to increase his cultivation base. As his cultivation increased, the speed at which he refined the desolation pills also increased. Opening his mouth, he sucked in hundreds of thousands of great desolation pills, turning them into energy that spread to the 60 trillion cells in his body. Then they turned into taboo energy. After refining it, he continued to refine the great desolate pills. Just like that, Lu Ming's cultivation base rose rapidly. From the early stage of the 5th Great Supreme God layer to the middle stage of the 5th Great Supreme God layer, then the late stage, then the peak of the 5th Great Supreme God layer. In just a little more than a day, Lu Ming's body erupted with a powerful aura, breaking through a new peak. 6th Great Supreme God layer. Lu Ming's cultivation base had successfully broken through to the 6th Great Supreme God layer. In the Taishang Immortal City, one's cultivation base rose extremely quickly. As long as one had enough desolation pills, one's cultivation base could keep rising. There was no limit to it. There was almost no bottleneck. Before entering the Taishang Immortal City, Lu Ming's cultivation base was only at the top of the 9th Great Supreme God layer. Only a few years had passed, and Lu Ming's cultivation base had risen at an astonishing speed. Now he had even broken through to the 6th Great Supreme God layer. If this had happened outside, it would have been unimaginable. Even the strongest geniuses of the heavenly human clan, who had endless resources, would have progressed much slower than this. Desolation pills could be said to be treasures that could steal the fortune of the universe. Unfortunately, he couldn't take them out. Otherwise, they would be extremely valuable. Slowly, Lu Ming's qi stabilized. He had broken through to the 6th Great Supreme God layer. After breaking through to the 6th Great Supreme God layer, Lu Ming's fighting strength had increased tremendously. With his fighting strength at the top of the 12-star Great Supreme God layer, he could be considered an expert even in the 9th Great Supreme God layer. Only those who had the strength of the 9th Great Supreme God layer with at least 3 stars could compete with Lu Ming. There weren't many people from ordinary clans who had the strength of 3 stars. In other words, in the primitive universe, Lu Ming was one of the strongest cultivators below the great supreme god layer. But it wasn't enough. He still had a long way to go. If he improved, others would also improve. After a while, the second floor of the Taishang Immortal City would be filled with cultivators of the seventh great supreme god layer and above. There would even be a handful of cultivators of the ninth great supreme god layer. Besides, there would be many geniuses there. For example, how strong would the geniuses on the universe's young geniuses list be if they broke through to the ninth great supreme god layer? There were also the core disciples of the heavenly palace, especially the heavenly human clan, who were the most terrifying. There were also terrifying geniuses in the prime of their lives. Therefore, Lu Ming still had a long way to go. The sixth great supreme god layer was far from enough. He still needed to improve. However, to break through from the sixth great supreme god layer to the seventh great supreme god layer, he would need even more desolation pills. Lu Ming estimated that he would need 120 million desolation pills. That was a shocking number. Even in this high-level earth vein, it would take more than a year to refine desolation pills. Therefore, he couldn't waste time. Lu Ming waited for his cultivation to stabilize before continuing to refine desolation pills. Time passed day by day. The heavenly human clan didn't come to trouble Lu Ming anymore. Soon, more than 10 days had passed. During this time, the news that Lu Ming and Yi Ling had occupied a high-level earth vein, and that the heavenly human clan had suffered a great loss and couldn't do anything to Lu Ming's group, spread like wildfire. Soon, all the earth veins in the core area were big and small. There was an ordinary earth vein in the area north of Lu Ming's group. On the surface, this earth vein was occupied by a clan from the primitive universe. In fact, it was occupied by the Heaven Destroyer. Their leader was Tian Xianyu. When Tian Xianyu received the news, she was dumbfounded. It took her a long time to react. I didn't expect that Lu Ming and Yi Ling could occupy a high-level earth vein. This is really beyond my expectations. Tian Xianyu exclaimed. Tian Xianyu, what should we do now? What's your plan? Another person asked. In this star palace, the Heaven Destroyer is too weak. We definitely won't be a match for the Heavenly Palace. Therefore, we can only hide in the dark and slowly accumulate strength. However, we won't be able to hide from the heavenly human clan for long. We'll be discovered sooner or later, especially now that the heavenly human clan has suffered a great loss at the hands of Lu Ming and Yi Ling. They will definitely transfer their resentment to the Heaven Destroyer. I reckon that during this period, the heavenly human clan will be secretly searching for the Heaven Destroyer. Therefore, we must leave as soon as possible and seek refuge with Lu Ming and Yi Ling, Tian Xianyu said. Chapter 40, 352. Heaven Destroyer was relatively weak in this star palace. Moreover, Lu Ming had killed many members of the heavenly human tribe. Tian Xianyu was sure that the heavenly human tribe would not let them go. They would definitely search for Heaven Destroyer secretly. If this continued, they would be in danger. Therefore, Tian Xianyu wanted to bring her people to Lu Ming. Another reason was that Lu Ming and the others were occupying a high-level earth vein. If they could join Lu Ming and enter the high-level earth vein, they would be able to refine desolation pills much faster. The higher the level of the Emperor God realm, the more desolation pills one would need to break through. Even if one was not talented enough and did not control enough power, the number of desolation pills required when one reached the 7th, 8th, or even 9th layer of the Emperor God realm would be shocking. It's good to join Lu Ming and Yi Ling, but I don't know if they will agree. Some people were worried. It shouldn't be a problem. After all, we are Heaven Destroyer's people. We are on the same side. Moreover, we have no grudges against them. I believe Lu Ming and Yi Ling will not be so heartless. Pack up and let's go, Tian Xianyu said. Soon, Tian Xianyu led a group of people to the high-level earth vein where Lu Ming and the others were. In fact, Tian Shenyue and the others were not the only heaven destroyer hiding in the dark. There were others who were hiding in various places. Some of them did not even hide in the earth vein. They just stayed in the mountains where the desolation chi was thicker. When they heard about Lu Ming and Yi Ling, some of them were tempted and went to the earth vein where Lu Ming and the others were. They were ready to join Lu Ming and the others. However, not everyone was going to join Lu Ming and Yi Ling. For example, Fei Yi. Although Fei Yi and the others had crossed the adversity crossing sea with Tian Shenyue and the others, they had left Tian Shenyue and the others after arriving at the adversity crossing sea. Fei Ye's ambition was not small. He did not want to live under someone else's roof. So he led a group of people and hid at the edge of an ordinary earth vein. He secretly refined the desolation pill and raised his cultivation. He was very confident that his talent was high enough. As long as his cultivation increased, he would not be weaker than others. When he heard that Lu Ming had killed many heavenly humans and occupied a high-grade earth vein, his heart was filled with jealousy. Humph! The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. Lu Ming's talent may be high, but his brain isn't good. If he offends the celestial race like this, the celestial race will definitely take revenge on him. Although he has gained some advantages now, he will die sooner or later. Let's see how long he can be arrogant for. We don't have to get too close to this person. If we get too close to him, we'll be killed by him sooner or later. Trust me, he won't be arrogant for long, Fei Yi said coldly. Hearing Fei Ye's words, a few people who originally wanted to suggest joining Lu Ming could only swallow their words. In the blink of an eye, a few days passed. During these days, Lu Ming and Yi Ling had been concentrating on refining desolation pills. Lu Ming received more than 300,000 desolation pills every day. At this rate, Lu Ming should be able to gather enough desolation pills to break through to the 7th great supreme god layer in a little more than a year. However, at this moment, a group of people arrived nearby. As expected, they're here. Heaven Destroyer's people, whispered Lu Ming. He stood up and floated in the air. Yi Ling also noticed this group of people. He also flew over and landed next to Lu Ming. It's Tian Shenyue and the others, said Yi Ling. Lu Ming nodded. He had already seen Tian Shenyue in the crowd. He glanced around and did not see Fei Yi and the others. Brother Lu, Brother Yi, I didn't expect that after not seeing you for a while, you would cause such a big commotion. I'm really surprised. Tian Shenyue smiled and cupped her fists. She was much more polite than the last time they had met. We were just lucky. May I know why Brother Tian Shenyue is here? Asked Lu Ming, even though he already knew the answer. He knew very well that Tian Shenyue and the others had most likely come to seek refuge with him. However, since they had not said anything, he would not take the initiative to ask them to come in. To be honest, we are here to seek refuge with Brother Lu and Brother Yi. Brother Lu and Brother Yi, you must take us in. Tian Shenyue cupped her fists and said humbly. Hearing that Tian Shenyue and the others had indeed come to seek refuge with them, Lu Ming could not help but ponder. The desolation chi in the earth vein was not endless. It would be exhausted as the desolation pills continued to condense. The reason why the desolation chi in the earth vein was so dense was because it had accumulated over a long period of time. 60 stellar years ago, someone had been here. Over the past 60 stellar years, the primordial gas had accumulated to such a high concentration. If it was only Lu Ming and Yi Ling who were condensing the desolation pills, they would be able to last longer. However, with the addition of others, the duration would be much shorter. This was where Lu Ming was pondering. Lu Ming, Tian Shenyue, is very talented. It would be a pity if she died in the hands of the heavenly human tribe. It would be a great loss for Heaven Destroyer. Yi Ling whispered to Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded and said, All right, everyone can come in. Lu Ming finally nodded in agreement. Tian Shenyue and the others were very talented. When they grew up, they would become the backbone of the heavenly palace. It would be impossible for him to fight against the heavenly palace alone. He would have to gather all his forces to fight against the heavenly palace. Therefore, he would help the heaven-exterminating army whenever he could. As for the lack of desolation chi in the earth vein, he would look for other earth veins later. Thank you, Lu Ming, Brother Yi. Thank you. Tian Shenyue and the others thanked him repeatedly and then flew into the earth vein. They scattered to various parts of the earth vein, then took out their pill furnaces and began to refine desolation pills. Lu Ming and Yi Ling also returned to their original place and continued to refine pills. In the following period, from time to time, people from Heaven Destroyer came to seek refuge. Lu Ming did not refuse and let them in. During this process, the heavenly human tribe's counterattack finally began. The heavenly human tribe sent out experts to hunt down the people of Heaven Destroyer. Many people from Heaven Destroyer who were hiding in the dark were killed. This made more people come to seek refuge with Lu Ming. Some people who did not want to seek refuge with Lu Ming also came to seek refuge with Lu Ming. In a small mountain range, there was a group of more than 20 people. The leader was Fei Yi. At this time, they were in a very sorry state. They had been hunted down by the heavenly human tribe and were almost wiped out. Fortunately, they had escaped in advance and were lucky to escape. At this moment, many of them had fear on their faces. What should we do? What should we do now? The heavenly human tribe is hunting down our Heaven Destroyer. If this continues, they will catch up to us sooner or later. Someone spoke with a look of panic on his face. It's all Lu Ming's fault. It's all his fault. If he had not killed so many heavenly human tribe members and completely angered them, they would not have gone crazy and hunted down our Heaven Destroyer on a large scale. Lu Ming has to take full responsibility. Fei Yi roared. Chapter 43:53. Fei Yi roared angrily and pushed all the blame onto Lu Ming. Some people on the side did not agree. Was it wrong to kill the celestial humans? Their Heaven Destroyer was known as the Heaven Destroyer because they wanted to destroy the celestial humans. Since they had the chance to kill the celestial humans, they naturally would not let it go. They would do the same if it were them. Fei Yi blamed all of this on Lu Ming, but they did not agree with him at all. However, no one said anything. After all, Fei Yi's cultivation was the highest among them. They still had to count on Fei Yi for the next operation. However, many people were disdainful of Fei Yi's character. I heard that many people have gone to seek refuge with Lu Ming, and Lu Ming has accepted them. Now those people are in the high-level ley lines, quickly condensing the desolate pills and improving their cultivation. Let's also go and seek refuge with Lu Ming. That's right, I think so too. Let's go and seek refuge with Lu Ming. Yes, the celestial humans don't dare to go there. Moreover, they can quickly improve their cultivation. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The others also discussed animatedly, all of them suggesting to seek refuge with Lu Ming. In the end, everyone's gazes turned to Fei Yi. Fei Yi's expression was a little ugly. Previously, he had despised Lu Ming in public and said that he would not seek refuge with Lu Ming. Now he was asked to seek refuge with Lu Ming. Wasn't that a slap to his face? However, he also wanted to seek refuge with Lu Ming. There were many dangers outside, and he might be found and killed by the celestial humans at any time. However, if he were to agree to submit to Lu Ming so easily, how could he not feel embarrassed? Therefore, he continued to ponder. Fei Yi, I know you have a grudge with Lu Ming, but now is not the time to be impulsive. You should put aside your grudge and seek refuge with him. That's right. Our common enemy is the celestial humans. A little grudge between us is a small matter. This matter concerns all of our lives. Fei Yi, think about it. The others tried to persuade him. Well, I don't care about my own safety. At worst, I will perish together with the heavenly human tribe. But you are innocent. For the sake of everyone's safety, I have decided to seek refuge with Lu Ming. Everyone, let's go. In the end, Fei Yi found a way out of this embarrassing situation. Only after saying some hypocritical words did he agree. Immediately they set off. Fortunately, they weren't too far away from the high-grade earth vein where Lu Ming and the others were. With a bit of luck, they didn't encounter any heavenly human tribe experts along the way. Thus, they arrived at the high-grade earth vein where Lu Ming and the others were. As soon as Fei Yi and the others approached, Lu Ming sensed them. Someone else is coming, Lu Ming muttered. He finished comprehending the secret technique and looked into the distance. Flying leaves. Lu Ming's eyes moved, and an inexplicable smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. In the distance, Fei Yi looked around and saw Lu Ming. However, he pretended that he didn't see Lu Ming and said to the people around him, "Let's go directly into the mountain range and find a place to stay." "Aren't we going to inform Lu Ming? It's not good to just go in like this." Someone hesitated. "What's not good about it? Anyway, the people of Heaven Destroyer can enter. We are also Heaven Destroyer. He has no reason to refuse us. Let's go in quickly," Fei Yi said. He didn't want to face Lu Ming and wanted to go directly into the mountain range. The others could only bite the bullet and follow Fei Yi. "Hee, you didn't even ask for my permission," Lu Ming sneered. He got up and stepped out. In a flash, he appeared in front of Fei Yi and the others. "Everyone, please wait," Lu Ming said lightly. "Lu Ming, it's you. What a coincidence." Fei Yi pretended that he had just seen Lu Ming and squeezed out a stiff smile. "Oh, is that so? Everyone, this is my place. Please go back." Lu Ming waved his hand. This made many people's faces change. Lu Ming didn't accept their surrender? "Lu Ming, we're here to seek refuge with you. Now, the people of the heavenly human race are wantonly capturing the people of Heaven Destroyer," a brawny man hurriedly explained with a humble attitude. "If you're here to seek refuge with me, why did you want to go in without my permission just now?" Lu Ming smiled faintly. "Lu Ming, we're all Heaven Destroyer. We should take care of each other. There's no need to greet each other, right?" Fei Yi said, "Take care of each other? Ha!" Lu Ming sneered and said, "That's not what you said in the outer area. At that time, I was being chased by the heavenly human race. Why didn't you say that we should take care of each other? Instead, you were afraid that I would implicate you. So you asked me to leave alone and leave the team. Now, you're telling me to take care of each other?" Lu Ming's words were full of mockery. Beside the flying leaf, many people revealed looks of shame. Indeed, because Lu Ming was being chased by the heavenly human race, Fei Yi didn't want to act with Lu Ming because he was afraid of being implicated by Lu Ming. He wanted to let Lu Ming leave alone. They didn't stop him, but now they came to seek refuge with Lu Ming. Fei Yi even said that they should take care of each other, which made their faces burn. "Damn, Lu Ming!" Fei Yi was roaring in his heart. Lu Ming had brought this up in public. It was simply a slap to his face. In his opinion, Lu Ming was humiliating him and embarrassing him. If it weren't for the fact that he was afraid of Lu Ming's strength and that he needed Lu Ming's help now, he would have directly suppressed Lu Ming and made Lu Ming kneel in front of him, kowtow, and admit his mistake. "Lu Ming, why do you have to be so calculative over such a small matter? After all, we are members of the Heaven Destroyer. If we are killed by the heavenly human race, it will be a great loss for the Heaven Destroyer." Fei Yi suppressed the anger in his heart and said, "Ha!" Lu Ming sneered. The more Fei Yi interacted with him, the more he felt that this person was shameless. Now, in his words, it became Lu Ming being calculative. "You're right. I am calculative. What's wrong? Everyone else can enter this earth vein and get my protection. Only you, Fei Yi, get out of here." Lu Ming shouted coldly. He couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with this person and directly ordered him to leave. "Lu Ming, you're too narrow-minded. This is revenge, plain and simple revenge." Fei Ye's expression changed drastically, and he shouted, "Yes, I'm narrow-minded. I'm taking revenge." "What's wrong?" Lu Ming said lightly. You! Fei Yi pointed at Lu Ming and couldn't say a word for a long time. "Everyone, if you want to enter, hurry up. If you want to leave with Fei Yi, I won't stop you." Lu Ming said to the others beside Fei Yi, "I'll enter." "Of course I'll enter." Those people hurriedly answered and stepped forward. They already had some contempt for Fei Yi in their hearts. Why would they leave with Fei Yi now? What a joke! These people flew into the mountain range, one after another. Lu Ming didn't stop them. Fei Yi's expression changed. In the end, he gritted his teeth and also wanted to fly into the mountain range. "I told you to get out. Didn't you hear me?" Lu Ming said coldly and threw a punch at Fei Yi. The violent fist energy was extremely terrifying. Although Fei Yi tried his best to resist, it was useless. He was blasted back and spat out a mouthful of blood. Chapter 43:54. Lu Ming, I'm also a member of the Heaven Destroyer. You want to kill me? You're killing your own kind. Fei Yi roared, changed his direction, and continued to fly towards the mountain range. He was completely shameless. Lu Ming didn't allow him to enter, but he insisted on entering. If he was alone outside, only death would await him. He would definitely be killed by the heavenly human tribe. Compared to his life, face and face were nothing. Even if he was shameless, he still wanted to enter the mountain range. As a member of the Heaven Destroyer, he didn't believe that Lu Ming would dare to kill him. "Get lost." Lu Ming threw out another punch, sending Fei Yi flying. "Lu Ming, even if you have a forbidden body, you can't do whatever you want. If you dare to kill me, you'll be punished when you get out." Fei Yi roared and continued to rush towards the mountain range. At this time, Yi Ling, Tian Shenyue, and the others in the mountain range were already alarmed. At this moment, they were looking at Fei Yi with disdain. This Fei Yi was too damn shameless. He was not allowed to enter, but he still insisted on entering. "Do you really think I won't dare to kill you?" Lu Ming said coldly. With a thought, the ground suddenly rumbled and a root flew out. It was the root of the big tree. The root was as fast as lightning, sweeping towards Fei Yi. With Fei Yi's strength, he couldn't avoid it at all and was directly wrapped up by the root. "Lu Ming, what are you doing? If you dare to kill me, you'll pay with your life." Fei Yi roared, his eyes filled with fear. "What do you mean I'm going to kill you? I didn't do anything. Where did this root come from? Why would it attack you?" "I don't know." Lu Ming sneered. He spread his hands and blamed everything on the roots of the plants. This is clearly controlled by you," Fei Yi roared. "Who has evidence?" Lu Ming sneered, his eyes filled with cold, murderous intent. Feeling the murderous intent in Lu Ming's eyes, Fei Yi shuddered and his heart was filled with fear. He could feel that Lu Ming really wanted to kill him. "No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. I beg you, don't kill me," Fei Yi shouted. Finally, he no longer dared to be unreasonable and began to beg for mercy. "Kill." Lu Ming remained unmoved. With a thought, the roots suddenly tightened. The violent power directly caused Fei Yi's body to explode. His flesh and blood were directly devoured by the roots. Fei Yi had fallen. With a wave of his hand, Lu Ming put away Fei Yi's storage ring and returned to the base of the tree. All the other members of the Heaven Exterminating Army saw this scene. However, they all felt that Fei Yi deserved to die. They all felt great disdain toward Fei Yi's moral character. After discussing with each other in secret, they all decided that they would not spread this matter after leaving this place. In fact, Lu Ming didn't care even if the news got out. It was just killing a Fei Yi. He didn't take it to heart. After returning to the base of the tree, Lu Ming took out Fei Yi's storage ring and found 5 alchemy furnaces. Lu Ming didn't hesitate to take them for his own use. In the following period, several batches of Heaven Destroyer members came to seek refuge, and Lu Ming accepted them one by one. Since then, everything had calmed down. The heavenly human race didn't come to attack. Lu Ming's life seemed to have returned to normal. However, Lu Ming knew that this was just the calm before the storm. Lu Ming was refining the desolate pills while comprehending the secret arts, seizing every moment. His combat strength had almost reached the peak of 12 stars, but it was extremely difficult to reach 13 stars. The higher the star level, the more difficult it was to increase one's combat strength by 1 star. At 12 stars, it was extremely difficult to reach 13 stars. During this period, Lu Ming kept comprehending the secret arts, turning them into runes and fusing them with his cells. However, his combat strength was still at 12 stars, not 13 stars. However, Lu Ming wasn't discouraged. He understood that the more runes he fused with the forbidden energy, the stronger it would become. As long as he fused enough runes, there would definitely be a qualitative change, and his combat strength would reach 13 stars. Time passed day by day. Lu Ming received more than 300,000 desolate pills every day. In the blink of an eye, 1 year and 2 months had passed. In 1 year and 2 months, Lu Ming had accumulated more than 120 million desolate pills. Lu Ming had accumulated enough to break through to the 7th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. Lu Ming finished comprehending the secret arts and started to absorb the desolate pills. He swallowed more than 1 million desolate pills in one gulp. These desolate pills were turned into forbidden energy, and Lu Ming's cultivation rose rapidly again. This time, it took a total of 3 days to refine over 100 million desolation pills. Lu Ming's aura continued to soar, and finally broke through a bottleneck and reached another level. 7th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through again, reaching the 7th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. His combat strength had increased by a large margin. Phew! Lu Ming took a deep breath, and his eyes lit up. He was much more confident now. With his current combat strength, he wouldn't be afraid even if he faced some 9th layer Great Supreme God Realm experts from the heavenly human tribe. Unless his opponent had a battle strength of 7 stars or above. Of course, this cultivation was far from enough. It was enough to fight against ordinary 9th layer Great Supreme God Realm experts, but it was far from enough to fight against peerless 9th layer Great Supreme God Realm experts. He had to continue to improve. After stabilizing his cultivation, Lu Ming continued to activate the cauldron to refine desolate pills. About half a year later, Yi Ling had accumulated enough desolate pills to break through to the 8th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. Yi Ling needed about 200 million primordial pills to break through from the 7th to the 8th level of the primordial God Realm. However, he had more alchemy furnaces than Lu Ming. He used 1 year and 8 months to accumulate about 200 million primordial pills and successfully broke through. During this time, many people broke through to the next level. The speed of accumulating desolate pills was too fast. Many people had accumulated enough desolate pills to break through to the next level. Everyone's strength slowly increased. In the blink of an eye, 3 years had passed since Lu Ming had broken through to the 7th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. In 3 years, Lu Ming had accumulated another 300 million desolate pills. However, 300 million desolate pills weren't enough for Lu Ming to break through. If Lu Ming wanted to break through to the 8th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm from the 7th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm, he would need 120 million desolate pills. This was a terrifying number. Given the speed of condensing the primordial pills, Lu Ming would be able to accumulate enough primordial pills in another 9 years. Lu Ming was satisfied with this speed. However, there was an important problem. The desolate qi in this high-grade earth vein was getting thinner and thinner. Recently, Lu Ming could clearly feel that the number of desolate pills refined in the cauldron had decreased. If this continued, the desolate qi in this earth vein would be used up in less than a year. A high-grade earth vein contained enough desolate qi to refine 1 billion desolate pills. Chapter 40, 355. The primeval aura contained in a high-level earth meridian could definitely condense more than 1 billion or even more primeval pills. However, before Lu Ming and the rest arrived, the heavenly human tribe had already been here for a few years and had already exhausted a lot of primeval aura. Lu Ming and the rest had been here for a few years, and the primeval aura in this high-level earth meridian was finally about to run out. At this moment, Lu Ming and Yi Ling met to discuss this matter. In the end, the two of them decided to move. The desolation energy here was far from enough for them to break through. Lu Ming needed 2 billion desolation pills to break through to the 8th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. As for Yi Ling, he needed more than 2 billion desolation pills to break through to the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. That was not enough. They planned to move and occupy another high-level earth vein. Don't forget that Yi Ling still had a black seed in his hands. In addition, their combat strength was many times stronger than a few years ago. They were much more confident. Which earth vein do you plan to occupy? The heavenly human tribes? Yi Ling asked Lu Ming's opinion. After spending some time together, he knew that Lu Ming was resourceful and far-sighted. No. Occupying the high-level earth vein of the heavenly human tribe would waste a seed. It's not worth it. Lu Ming shook his head. Before Yi Ling could ask, he continued to explain, the heavenly human tribe has a lot of cauldrons. After so many years of refining pills, I don't think there's much desolation energy left in the high-level earth vein that they occupy. That's right. You mean the top 10 tribes? Yi Ling asked. He was also very smart. He understood Lu Ming's plan immediately. That's right. I choose the top 10 tribes, the angel tribe, Lu Ming said. That's what I want. Yi Ling smiled. The top 10 tribes were definitely much weaker than the heavenly human tribe. The number of cauldrons that they had was far less than the number of cauldrons that the heavenly human tribe had. Naturally, the speed of absorbing desolation pills would be much slower. Therefore, there should be a lot of desolation pills left in the high-level earth vein that the top 10 tribes occupied. After coming to an agreement, the two of them decided to set off without informing anyone else. Allowing Heaven Destroyer's men to enter this earth vein to absorb the chaos chi was already extremely benevolent. The two of them did not intend to share the earth vein with others. Before setting off, Lu Ming gave the trees an order, telling them not to attack Heaven Destroyer's people. If anyone else came to attack, they were free to attack. After that, the two of them quietly left the high-level ley line and headed towards the angel race's high-level ley line. However, what they didn't know was that not long after they left, they were discovered by the heavenly human tribe. Although the heavenly human tribe did not continue to attack Lu Ming and the others in the past few years, it did not mean that the heavenly human tribe was not prepared. They had long since set up a surveillance spell formation around this advanced earth vein. As soon as Lu Ming and the others left the earth vein, they would be discovered. Above the earth vein, there was a huge tree suppressing it. However, there were no large trees outside the earth veins. The news that Lu Ming and Yi Ling had left the ley line quickly reached the ears of the celestial tribe elites. That brat Mu Yin has finally left. I think it's because their high-level ley line chaos chi is insufficient. That's why they left the ley line to look for a new ley line. Ha ha ha, leaving the ley line without the protection of the big tree. Let's see how that brat will die. Let's go and kill Mu Yin. Almost all the elites of the celestial tribe were alarmed. They were filled with cold, murderous intent. One by one, they left their positions and charged towards Lu Ming. However, their geographical locations were different. Some were close to Lu Ming and the others while some are far. Those who were close to them naturally caught up with Lu Ming and the others earlier. Those who were close to them did not plan to wait for the celestial tribe elites who were far away to arrive together before attacking. In their opinion, Lu Ming and Yi Ling's combat strength was not worth mentioning. They were mainly wary of the big tree. Without the suppression of the big tree, they were confident that they could easily kill Lu Ming and Yi Ling. Lu Ming and Yi Ling did not know that all the celestial tribe elites had been alarmed by them. They flew quickly. However, in less than 2 hours, the two of them suddenly stopped. This was because their spiritual senses were sharp enough to detect a dangerous aura. Retreat. Without hesitation, the two of them executed their movement techniques to the maximum and retreated rapidly. The two of them were extremely fast. With a shake of their bodies, they retreated thousands of miles away. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In the sky and on the ground, hundreds of terrifying attacks suddenly spread out and attacked the spot where Lu Ming and Yi Ling had been. However, they all missed. Lu Ming and Yi Ling successfully dodged them. However, just as Lu Ming and Yi Ling stopped, there were more attacks coming towards Lu Ming from behind. However, there were only a dozen or so attacks coming after them. Their figures flickered as they dodged all of the attacks. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In the surrounding void, figures flashed and appeared one after another. They formed an arc and pressed towards Lu Ming and the others. Celestial tribe, it seems that we are being monitored, Lu Ming whispered. Seeing the appearance of the celestial tribe, Lu Ming naturally thought that they were being monitored. However, Lu Ming and Yi Ling's expressions were very calm. There were not many celestial tribe elites. In total, there were about 120 of them. Although there were many experts, Lu Ming and Yi Ling were no longer ignorant. Their combat strength was many times stronger than a few years ago. Mu Yin, let's see where you can escape this time. A young man said coldly and stepped out. His killing intent was as cold as a knife. It was Lu Ming's old acquaintance, Yichu Haohen. Oh, is that so? Lu Ming said lightly. This time you will die without a doubt. Yichu Haohen said coldly. I'm afraid you don't have the ability. Lu Ming said, don't talk nonsense with him. Just kill him. There was another young man from the celestial tribe here. His golden hair fluttered in the wind. He was arrogant and his eyes were cold. He stepped out, turned into a beam of light, and attacked directly. He held a long spear in his hand. The long spear was wrapped in a layer of gray energy. He stabbed at Lu Ming, giving off a strong sense of danger. Heavenly annihilation power. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This young man from the celestial tribe was obviously a top genius. His cultivation was at the 8th realm of the Emperor God realm, and he had mastered the heavenly annihilation power. His combat strength was absolutely terrifying. The spear light pierced through the air and went straight for Lu Ming's glabella. I'll be your opponent. Yi Ling shouted coldly. A beam of sword light shot out and collided with the opponent's long spear. Clang! There was an earth-shattering explosion. The sword chi and the spear light swept out in all directions. Then Yi Ling and the genius from the celestial tribe retreated at the same time. However, Yi Ling only took a few steps back. The genius from the celestial tribe retreated more than a dozen steps. Obviously, Yi Ling had the upper hand. 9-star battle strength, but not as good as Yi Ling. Lu Ming judged in his heart. Chapter 4356. The genius from the heavenly human tribe exchanged blows with Yi Ling, and Lu Ming could see his combat strength. This was because the prodigy of the heavenly human clan had already exhausted all his strength in order to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. 9-star combat strength. The genius from the heavenly human tribe had a 9-star combat strength. Such combat strength was absolutely terrifying. Among all the geniuses from the heavenly human tribe that Lu Ming had seen, he was the most powerful one. However, he only had an ordinary 9-star combat strength, while Yi Ling had a peak 9-star combat strength. Therefore, the genius from the heavenly human tribe was the one who was forced to retreat. However, they were both 9-star combat strength. Even if there was a slight difference, it was not a big difference. It did not mean that Yi Ling would definitely win the battle. There were many factors that determined the outcome of a battle. Combat experience, mental strength, and adaptability could all affect the outcome of a battle. Of course, if the difference in combat strength was too great, it would be a different story. Kill! The genius from the heavenly human tribe shouted and continued to attack Yi Ling. At the same time, Yi Chu Haohen seized the opportunity to attack Lu Ming. Boundless divine skill, heavenly punishment battle saber. Yi Chu Haohen shouted. The moment he attacked, he raised his combat strength to the maximum and used his strongest killing move. Naturally, he also controlled the strongest heavenly power. It was the heavenly punishment force. He held the battle saber in his hand, and the heavenly punishment force exploded. The saber radiance was shocking, and it slashed down, wanting to cut Lu Ming in half. Sky-splitting move. Facing Yi Chu Haohen's attack, Lu Ming did not hold back and pushed his combat strength to the maximum. Battle character art, 7 times combat strength, sky-splitting move, whoosh. Lu Ming turned into a spear radiance and broke through the air, exchanging blows with Yi Chu Haohen. This move also caused both of them to retreat. However, the scene was almost exactly the same as Yi Ling and the genius from the heavenly human tribe. Lu Ming retreated less, while Yi Chu Haohen retreated more. Lu Ming realized that Yi Chu Haohen's combat strength was similar to that of the genius from the heavenly human tribe. He also had the strength of the 8th great supreme god layer and 9 stars. As for Lu Ming, although his cultivation was 1 level lower than his opponent's, he possessed battle prowess at the peak of 12 star. In a direct confrontation, Lu Ming's combat strength was above Yi Chu Haohen's. Damn it! How is this possible? Yi Chu Haohen roared in his heart, filled with shock. How could Lu Ming's battle prowess be so strong? He had a 9-star battle prowess, and his cultivation was 1 level higher than Lu Ming's. But in a head-on confrontation, he was actually inferior to Lu Ming. Didn't that mean that Lu Ming possessed 12 stars of battle prowess? 12 stars of battle prowess. What kind of concept was this? This was definitely a world-shaking matter because, according to what he knew, in the entire celestial race, those whose battle prowess could reach 12 stars could be counted on one hand. Let's attack together and kill this person. Yechu Haohen roared. Kill! Around them, the others also made their moves. All kinds of attacks were like a tide rushing towards Lu Ming. Among them, there were many 9th-layer Emperor God existences. In the past few years, the number of 9th-layer Emperor God experts in the celestial race had increased by quite a lot. However, before the celestial race members made their move, Lu Ming and Yi Ling had already joined forces and rushed towards a direction. This was because they had secretly exchanged information and planned to break out of the encirclement together. Although their current battle prowess had increased by many times compared to a few years ago, there were too many experts in the celestial race, and many of them were stronger than them. They were still no match for them in terms of battle prowess alone. Escape was the best option. The two of them joined forces and rushed towards the direction where the celestial race members were the weakest. A ray of sword light and a ray of spear light gathered together, exuding a terrifying fluctuation. The celestial race members in that direction hurriedly tried to block it. However, Lu Ming and Yi Ling were right. The celestial race members in that direction were indeed weaker. After the two sides' attacks collided, the celestial race members could not help but retreat. In this way, there was a flaw in the encirclement around Lu Ming and Yi Ling. Lu Ming and Yi Ling immediately used their strongest movement techniques. Lu Ming used the Great Aurora skill and turned into an aurora. In a flash, he rushed out of the encirclement. Yi Ling was not bad either. He turned into a ray of sword light and rushed out of the encirclement after a few flashes. After rushing out of the encirclement, the two of them quickly flew in the same direction. Chase after them. Damn it, don't let them escape. Inform the others to stop them on their way back. Don't let them return to the high-grade Earth vein. Yi Chu Haohin and the others shouted. At the same time, they passed the message to the other experts of the celestial race who were rushing over. They asked the experts of the celestial race who were closer to the high-grade Earth vein to stop Lu Ming and Yi Ling from returning to the high-grade Earth vein. This was because that high-grade Earth vein had a terrifying tree. Once Lu Ming and Yi Ling returned, they would not be able to kill Lu Ming. At the same time, they chased after Lu Ming and Yi Ling as fast as they could. However, they guessed wrong. Lu Ming did not intend to return to the high-grade Earth vein at all. Instead, he rushed in another direction. A few hours passed in the blink of an eye. At this time, there were more than 10 celestial race experts following Lu Ming and Yi Ling. More celestial race experts from other directions had arrived. We're almost there. Lu Ming and Yi Ling's eyes were filled with murderous intent. A mountain range appeared in front of them. They were about to reach their destination. Swoosh, swoosh. The two of them flew over the mountain range like two rays of light. Then they suddenly stopped in midair and looked back at the celestial race experts who were rushing over. The celestial race experts behind them were stunned. They did not understand why Lu Ming and Yi Ling had suddenly stopped. No matter what the reason is, with so many of us joining forces, even if they have some tricks up their sleeves, they won't be able to escape death. Don't split up. Let's attack together. Yi Chu Haohin and the rest shouted. They did not slow down and continued to rush toward Lu Ming and Yi Ling at an alarming speed. However, when they got close to Lu Ming and Yi Ling, their pupils shrank. That was because they saw a shocking scene. In the valley below, there was a towering tree. This towering tree left a deep impression on them, especially Yi Chu Haohin, who had been taught a lesson in blood. Many of his experts had become food for this tree. That's right. This tree was very similar to the tree on the high-grade Earth vein that Lu Ming and Yi Ling were in. It was almost the same. Kill! At this moment, Lu Ming shouted. Bam! 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 The ground exploded. Hundreds of roots stretched out from the ground like terrifying whips and poisonous snakes. They swept toward the celestial race experts. At the same time, more than 10 disaster-avoiding ghosts screamed and rushed toward the celestial race experts from the ground. Be alert! Defend! Defend! The celestial race experts shouted. However, this scene was far beyond their expectations. They had never expected such a tree to appear here. By the time they saw the tree, its attack had already begun. They were in chaos, and it was too late for them to defend themselves. Chapter 43:57. In such a short time, the heavenly human tribe members did not have time to defend themselves. Hundreds of roots and more than a dozen disaster-avoiding ghosts had already reached them. Many of the heavenly humans were wrapped up by the roots. With a squeeze, the bodies of the heavenly humans exploded. Their flesh and blood were absorbed by the roots of the tree. In addition, more than a dozen disaster-avoiding ghosts had entered the bodies of more than a dozen heavenly human tribe members. Their bodies shriveled up and their essence, chi, soul, and flesh and blood were all devoured. In an instant, nearly 50 heavenly human tribe members had died. The remaining heavenly human tribe members were all above the 7th layer of the great god realm. They were quick to react and had great combat strength. That was how they managed to survive. Kill! Kill! Lu Ming kept shouting and giving orders to the tree. The roots of the tree kept attacking crazily. More than a dozen disaster-avoiding ghosts were also screaming and fighting crazily. The remaining 80 or so heavenly human tribe members were in a difficult situation. They could not form an effective defense, and many of them were killed by the tree. Retreat! Retreat first! Yi Chu Hao shouted and rushed out crazily. Even Yi Chu Hao, who had such combat strength, was in danger when facing such a tree. If he was not careful, he could die. They had to rush out and form a battle formation to fight against the tree. Now, they were being attacked by the roots and the disaster-avoiding ghosts. Everyone was in a mess and could not form a battle formation successfully. Let's attack too. Lu Ming said to Yi Ling, "That's what I want." Yi Ling smiled hideously, and his killing intent was like a knife. The two of them looked around the battlefield, looking for an opportunity to attack. Suddenly, their eyes lit up and they attacked at the same time. The two of them flashed and rushed out like lightning. Lu Ming rushed toward the brawny, heavenly human tribe member. The brawny, heavenly human tribe member was at the 9th layer of the great god realm and had 6 stars of combat strength. He was not much weaker than Lu Ming. It would be difficult for Lu Ming to kill him in a head-on fight. However, this person had just been struck by one of the tree's roots. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and retreated, giving Lu Ming an opportunity. Lu Ming unleashed the heaven-breaking style and transformed into a beam of spear gleam. He dashed forward and pierced a hole through the man's glabella. A cultivator of the 9th great supreme god layer had died, and Lu Ming had taken his ring. As for the other one, Yi Ling also succeeded. He also killed a strong man of the heavenly human tribe who had the strength of the 9th layer of the great supreme god layer. Unfortunately, geniuses like Yi Chu Haohen had high talent and high status. Others would risk their lives to protect them. It was very difficult to find such a good opportunity. After Lu Ming killed a celestial race expert, his figure flashed and he retreated far away. He continued to observe. Once he saw a celestial race member fall into a passive state, he would immediately counterattack and launch a fatal attack. It was the same for Yi Ling. The two of them were not affected by the roots of the giant tree and the evil-avoiding ghosts, so they could come and go as they pleased. In addition, their battle prowess was extremely powerful. For the heavenly human tribe, it was undoubtedly one disaster after another. The heavenly human tribe members were being killed one by one. Soon, the number of heavenly human tribe members was reduced to about 50. At that moment, the heavenly human tribe members finally broke out of the encirclement and started to run away. They only stopped when they reached a place where the evil-avoiding ghosts could not chase after them. It's a pity that the tree is good for defense, but it's not good for offense, Lu Ming sighed. However, Lu Ming was very satisfied that he had been able to kill so many heavenly human tribe members this time. After all, the tree had been planted by accident a few years ago. At that time, Lu Ming and Yi Ling had just entered the core area. They wanted to see if the black seed was useful in the core area, so they had thrown it here. At that time, they had regretted that they had wasted a seed. They had not thought that it would come in handy now. Previously, Lu Ming and Yi Ling had purposely come here to lure the heavenly human tribe members here. Then, they had killed a large number of heavenly human tribe members. Damn it, damn it. Where did these bastards get so many terrifying trees? The heavenly human tribe members were furious. However, they were also frightened and did not dare to continue attacking Lu Ming and the rest. Sorry, I have as many of these trees as you want. Yi Ling laughed, and a black seed appeared in his hand. He held the black seed and walked towards the heavenly human tribe members. Ah, damn it. That tree grew from this seed. It can grow in a very short period of time. Retreat! After seeing the black seed in Yi Ling's hand, Yi Chu Haohen shouted in horror. He had seen the black seed germinate and grow into a towering tree with his own eyes. What? They still have more? Damn it! Retreat! The heavenly human tribe members did not dare to let Yi Ling get close to them. They quickly retreated. Yi Ling followed closely behind the heavenly human tribe members as they retreated. His speed became faster and faster as he chased after the heavenly human tribe members. The heavenly human tribe members did not dare to stay. Damn it, let's leave this place first. In the end, the heavenly human tribe members decided to leave this place first to make further plans. They gathered together and flew at full speed. Yi Ling did not chase after them. Soon, the heavenly human tribe members completely disappeared from this area. Yi Ling returned and met up with Lu Ming. The two of them did not stop and continued to head towards the high-grade earth vein where the angels were. They did not encounter any danger. Soon, they arrived at the high-grade earth vein that the angels were occupying. This high-grade earth vein was not smaller than the one that Lu Ming and the rest had occupied previously. From afar, it was misty and looked like a fairyland. There is still a lot of desolation chi left here. That's great. Yi Ling was overjoyed. Lu Ming also smiled. Sure enough, the angels did not control many pill furnaces. The remaining desolation chi in this high-grade earth vein was still quite rich. It could definitely condense a large number of desolation pills. The two of them rushed towards the high-grade earth vein. Who is it? Do you want to die? A few angry shouts came from the mountain range. More than a dozen figures rushed into the sky and blocked Lu Ming and the rest. It was indeed the angels. The younger generation had angel wings and was covered in pure white holy light. You, Mu Yin, it's Mu Yin. One of the burly men from the angel clan recognized Lu Ming and could not help shouting. What? It's Mu Yin. How dare he come here? No matter what the reason is, let's kill him first. These more than 10 experts of the angel race were filled with cold, murderous intent. Sacred light burst forth as they charged toward Lu Ming. A 9th-level divine god, Lu Ming muttered. Among the dozen angels, only one was a 9th-level divine god. The rest were all below that level. Lu Ming did not take this level of strength to heart. He clenched his fist, and a long spear condensed. The long spear shook, and a sharp spear light burst out. Chapter 40, 358. Lu Ming condensed his forbidden energy into a long spear. At the same time, he used the sky-breaking technique. Suddenly, more than a dozen spear lights shot toward the angels. The angels were shocked. They roared to the sky and tried their best to defend themselves. Unfortunately, it was useless. The spear lights pierced through their defenses. Their foreheads were pierced by the spear lights. Their souls were annihilated and they died on the spot. The angels were all killed, including the one in the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. Although the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm had a high cultivation level, his fighting strength was not very strong. He only had 4 stars of fighting strength, which was 2 stars lower than Lu Ming. He was killed instantly. However, at this time, all the angels in the mountain range were alarmed. Mu Yin, you're courting death. How dare you come here and kill the angels? How dare you? Angry roars were heard. Dazzling, holy light shot up to the sky. Many figures rushed out from the mountain range. Some of them were from the angels. Their auras were very terrifying. The angels were one of the top 10 clans. They were very strong. Many of them had reached the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. In addition, many of them had improved rapidly after entering the Taishang Immortal City. Naturally, there were many experts. Lu Ming and Yi Ling realized that there were more than 29th layer Great Supreme God Realm experts among the people who rushed out. The angels were different from the heavenly human clan. The heavenly human clan's people were scattered in more than a dozen high-grade earth veins. The angels' experts in this star palace were all gathered in this high-grade earth vein. There were many experts. Given Lu Ming and Yi Ling's combat power, they were naturally no match for so many angel experts. However, they had come prepared. The black seed appeared in Yi Ling's hand again. Whoosh! Yi Ling threw the black seed on the ground. The black seed sprouted at an astonishing speed and grew rapidly. The eyes of the angels widened. Then they were filled with fear because they recognized this kind of tree. This was because when the heavenly human race besieged Lu Ming and the rest, many people from the angel race had participated in that battle. It's the tree that killed the heavenly human clan. Damn it, they still have more. They actually still have more. Retreat! Retreat! The angels roared. They were incomparably terrified. They had a very deep shadow in their hearts towards this kind of tree. Even the celestial clan couldn't do anything to this type of tree, suffering disastrous losses under this type of tree. So how could they not be traumatized? Kill! Yi Ling shouted softly. He controlled the tree and launched an attack. Roots rushed out of the ground, and 10 or so disaster-avoiding ghosts howled as they rushed towards the angels. Quite a number of angels were killed right there and then. None of the angels in the entire mountain range dared to resist. Like birds startled by the twang of a bough, they scattered in all directions. Because the angels reacted quickly, they fled in terror as soon as they saw the tree growing. Not many of them were killed by the tree. By the time the tree grew and Yi Ling gave the order to attack, many of the angels had already fled far away. In the end, they managed to kill a dozen or so angels. The rest of the angels managed to escape. Unfortunately, I didn't see Gabbert, Lu Ming muttered in his heart. Originally, he was wondering if he could see Gabbert here. If he saw Gabbert, he could get rid of Gabbert. Unfortunately, he didn't see any trace of Gabbert. After the angels fled, the two of them stepped into the air and entered the mountain range. From now on, this high-grade earth vein would be theirs. They took out their pill furnaces and continued to condense the primitive pills. Unfortunately, the number of pill furnaces in Lu Ming's hands didn't increase. Although they had killed 70 or 80 Celestial Clan experts earlier, they didn't have a single pill furnace in their storage rings. Lu Ming guessed that these Celestial Clan experts had placed their pill furnaces in the earth vein. After all, there were many Celestial Clan experts. If they placed their pill furnaces in the earth vein, as long as someone took care of them, they could continuously condense primitive pills. However, they couldn't condense any primitive pills even if they carried them with them. However, although they didn't obtain any pill furnaces, they did obtain a lot of primitive pills. The 70 or 80 Celestial Clan experts had nearly 100 million primitive pills. They were all divided between Lu Ming and Yi Ling. Lu Ming resumed his previous life. He refined the desolate pill while comprehending the secret skill. The news that Lu Ming and Yi Ling had occupied the high-grade earth vein of the Angel Clan also spread. When the Celestial Clan heard about it, they were infuriated. Unfortunately, Lu Ming and the others had the protection of the giant tree. They couldn't do anything to Lu Ming. They could only continue to accumulate strength. When more people broke through to the 9th Great Supreme God Layer, they could form the 9 Heavens Battle Formation to kill Lu Ming and the others. In the blink of an eye, 3 years passed. Lu Ming's primitive pills increased by another 300 million. In addition to the 350 million primitive pills he had before, Lu Ming had about 650 million primitive pills. He still had a long way to go before he could break through to the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. Yi Ling had more pill furnaces than Lu Ming, so he could refine more primitive pills than Lu Ming. However, he was only at the 8th Great Supreme God Layer. If he wanted to break through to the 9th Great Supreme God Layer, he would need at least 2 billion primitive pills. At that moment, the primitive chi in the high-grade earth vein was becoming thinner and thinner. After all, this high-level earth meridian had been occupied by the angels for about 5 years. More than half of the primeval energy had been used up. In the past 3 years, Lu Ming and Yi Ling had refined nearly 700 million primeval pills. The primeval energy of this high-level spirit wheat was almost depleted. At that moment, Lu Ming and the others had been in the Taishang Immortal City for almost 8 years. The two of them didn't leave. They continued to refine primitive pills. However, as the primitive chi became thinner and thinner, the refining speed became slower and slower. In the blink of an eye, another 8 years passed. They had been in the Taishang Immortal City for 16 years. In the past 8 years, Lu Ming had refined a little more than 150 million primitive pills. The total number of primitive pills he had was 800 million, but it still wasn't enough to break through. The primitive qi in the high-grade earth vein was almost used up. At that moment, the primitive qi in the high-grade earth vein occupied by the heavenly human clan was almost used up. However, after so many years, the heavenly human clan had become stronger and stronger. They had more and more experts of the 9th great supreme god layer. Some of the young geniuses had already broken through to the 9th great supreme god layer. However, they still didn't attack Lu Ming and the others because it wasn't enough. They needed more time to gather more experts. When they attacked Lu Ming again, they needed to kill him in one strike. Chapter 40, 359. However, the desolation qi in the high-grade earth vein was almost depleted. The heavenly human tribe began to shift their positions and began to invade the earth veins occupied by other tribes. For example, the high-grade earth veins occupied by the top 10 tribes. Those tribes were angry but did not dare to speak up. They could only swallow their anger. At this time, Lu Ming and Yi Ling also left the high-grade earth vein and headed to other places. They also went to look for earth veins to refine elixirs. However, they did not have the seeds and naturally did not dare to go to the high-grade earth veins. They only went to the ordinary ones. The tribes that occupied the ordinary earth veins were not that strong. The 2 of them could handle them. However, the 2 of them kept a low profile. They changed their appearances and secretly entered the ordinary earth veins to refine desolation pills. When they were discovered, they attacked and defeated the people of those tribes. Almost no one from those tribes had seen Lu Ming before. Naturally, they could not recognize Lu Ming's life origin energy. They only thought that 2 powerful experts had come. In addition, Lu Ming and Yi Ling only occupied a corner of the earth vein and did not kill them. They only defeated these people. These people had no choice but to let Lu Ming and Yi Ling refine elixirs in their earth veins. When the desolation qi in this earth vein became thin, Lu Ming and Yi Ling left and continued to look for the next earth vein. However, even when they went to other earth veins, the desolation qi became thinner and thinner. The speed at which they refined desolation pills became slower and slower. Soon, more than 10 years had passed. Lu Ming only had 900 million desolation pills. It was still less than 2 billion. At this time, they had been in the Grand Supreme Immortal City for almost 30 years. The 50-year period was not far away. According to the records, in the last 20 years, some strange places will appear in each star palace. They may be important celestial lands or sacred places with destinies. We are about to enter the last 20 years. I wonder what kind of strange places will appear in our star palace. Yi Ling said as Lu Ming and Yi Ling were discussing matters on a mountain peak. There are still 3 months before we enter the last 20 years. There will definitely be news then. Let's go back first. Lu Ming said. He was referring to the high-grade earth vein at the beginning. It was the earth vein where the heaven destroyer was. According to the records, some strange phenomena would appear before such strange places appeared. There were heaven destroyer's people in that high-grade earth vein. They might be able to get some information after they returned. The 2 sneakily returned and found earth vein. The desolation qi here is almost depleted. After they returned to the earth vein, Lu Ming. Back when they had left, the desolate qi in this high-grade earth vein had become much thinner, but it was still enough to refine quite a few desolate pills. Now it desolation was. Although it, desolationation, the desolation here. Earth desolation not, desolation. The members of the Sky Exterminating Army were still there, and not to the seeds. As seeds, They would be hunted down by the heavenly palace if they left desolation. Lu Ming and Yi Ling found Tian Xianyu after they returned. They asked if there was any unusual news. There is indeed unusual news. I'm afraid a hidden area is about to appear in the northernmost part. Tian Xianyu said. Hidden area? What do you mean? Lu Ming and Yi Ling were curious. Not an immortal abode or immortal mountain, but a hidden area? Yes, it's a hidden area. Previously, that area was isolated by a mysterious force. We couldn't sense it or enter it, but recently, the mysterious force has been fading. The hidden area is about to appear. Tian Xianyu said. What's in that hidden area? Yi Ling asked. Based on what we can observe, there shouldn't be anything special in that area. It's similar to the core area. It should contain some earth veins. It's very likely that the desolation chi in the earth vein is denser than the high-grade earth vein here, Tian Xianyu said. Lu Ming and Yi Ling glanced at each other. They could see the surprise in each other's eyes. What did they lack the most now? What he lacked the most was desolate pills. And now there was a hidden area in the Star Palace that contained earth veins. The desolation chi was even denser than the high-grade desolation chi. If they could occupy such a place and continuously condense desolation pills, their cultivation would definitely improve. Yi Ling could easily reach the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. Even Lu Ming could look forward to reaching the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm. If Lu Ming wanted to break through from the 8th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm to the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God Realm, he would need at least 12 billion desolation pills. 12 billion desolation pills. Lu Ming had thought that it was hopeless, but now there was hope again. According to the information given by Senior Fei Huang, once the 30 years are up, these mysterious places will truly appear, Lu Ming thought. Rumor has it that the heavenly human tribe and the other tribes have started to make preparations. They have surrounded that area so tightly that not even a drop of water can trickle through. Once that area officially appears, they will enter and occupy it. With our strength, it will be difficult for us to compete with them. Tian Xianyu sighed. Lu Ming and Yi Ling frowned slightly. That was indeed the case. Now that the great desolation chi in the core area was almost depleted, everyone's attention was on the hidden area. They could imagine that there would be a fierce competition. And the Heaven Destroyer in this Star Palace was not strong. It was far from being a match for the Heavenly Palace. It could not compete with the people of the Heavenly Palace. Do you have any more of those trees? Tian Xianyu asked, looking hopefully at Lu Ming and Yi Ling. If they had more of those trees, they might be able to get a share in the hidden area. No more. Lu Ming and Yi Ling shook their heads. Tian Xianyu looked disappointed. Then the three of them discussed for a while. Lu Ming and Yi Ling said goodbye and left. Lu Ming, how many desolation pills do you need to break through? Yi Ling asked. At least 300 million. Lu Ming said, Here, I have 500 million here. I'll lend it to you first. Anyway, I don't have enough for a breakthrough. You can return it to me when we enter the hidden area later. Yi Ling took out a storage ring and handed it to Lu Ming. Thank you. Lu Ming gave a fist salute and took it without hesitation. Now was not the time to be polite. The desolation pills in their hands were not enough for them to break through. However, if Yi Ling gave Lu Ming a portion of the desolation pills, Lu Ming would have enough desolation pills to break through. After all, Lu Ming was not far behind, but Yi Ling was far behind. Chapter 4360. As long as Lu Ming broke through to the next cultivation level, his fighting strength would increase tremendously and he would surpass Yi Ling. That would be a great advantage for them in the hidden region. This way, it would be of great help to both of them. Both of them understood this principle. Lu Ming had enough desolation pills, so he started cultivating in seclusion to break through to the next cultivation level. A large amount of desolation pills kept entering Lu Ming's mouth. They turned into forbidden energy and increased Lu Ming's strength. Lu Ming's strength kept increasing. This time, it took Lu Ming 10 days to break through to the 8th Great Supreme God layer. As for the number of Great Desolation pills consumed, it reached a total of 1.2 billion. However, it was all worth it. Lu Ming's fighting strength had increased tremendously after reaching the 8th Great Supreme God layer. Yi Ling, who was also of the 8th Great Supreme God layer, was no longer a match for Lu Ming. If he fought against Lu Ming, he would probably be killed instantly. Lu Ming, who was of the 8th Great Supreme God layer, was almost invincible in the Great Supreme God layer. Only cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God layer with fighting strength of 9 stars or above could be Lu Ming's match. However, how many creatures in the vast primitive universe could have a 9-star battle prowess? Yi Ling, who was at the peak of 9 stars, was considered a top genius on the side of Heaven Destroyer. Although the heavenly human tribe was talented and had abundant resources, not many of them had a fighting strength of 9 stars. Therefore, Lu Ming's fighting strength was at the peak of the Great Supreme God layer. However, it was still not enough. Although there were not many people in the heavenly human tribe who had a fighting strength of 9 stars, there were still some. Putting everything else aside, Lu Ming had encountered no less than 3 in this star palace. Yi Chu Haohen was one of them. If the other great supreme god experts of the heavenly human tribe formed a battle formation, Lu Ming would definitely not be a match for them. If he wanted to fight against the heavenly human tribe for the hidden region, he would not be able to do it on his own. He would need external help. The Black Seed. Yes, Lu Ming's first thought was the Black Seed. If he had a few black seeds, he could enter the hidden area and occupy one of the earth veins. Then he could use the black seeds to transform into a tree to defend himself. That would be much simpler. There are still 80 days left. It's enough for me to make a trip to the disaster-avoiding sea. Lu Ming pondered for a moment. In the end, he decided to make another trip to the tribulation-overcoming ocean. After sharing his thoughts with Yi Ling, Lu Ming bade Yi Ling farewell and stepped into the adversity-avoidance sea alone. Now he was stronger than Yi Ling, and he was the only one controlling the purple copper coffin. Bringing Yi Ling along would not be of any help to him. Now, most of the people were gathered in the periphery of the hidden area. There were almost no heavenly human tribe members in other places. There was no need to worry at all. Lu Ming pushed his speed to the extreme and used the teleportation skill, constantly moving in the direction of the adversity-crossing sea. After some time, the vast calamity-crossing sea appeared before Lu Ming's eyes again. Lu Ming did not stop. He rushed into the calamity-crossing sea directly and used the taboo energy to defend himself. Then he started searching everywhere. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, the strength of the taboo energy could make Lu Ming stay in the Calamity Crossing Sea for a long time. Although it could not make him cross the Calamity Crossing Sea, Lu Ming did not intend to cross the Calamity Crossing Sea. He only searched within the range that he could withstand. If he could not withstand it, he would return immediately. Just like that, time passed day by day. Lu Ming searched for more than a month without any results. After searching for more than a month, he did not see the tree. It seemed that the number of such trees in the Calamity Crossing Sea should be very small. Lu Ming did not give up and continued searching. Another half a month passed. That is, on this day, Lu Ming was flying when his eyes suddenly lit up. A towering tree appeared in front of Lu Ming. This towering tree was almost exactly the same as the black seed that Lu Ming had obtained in the Calamity Crossing Sea. On the branches, there were more than a dozen Calamity Crossing ghosts. They seemed to have discovered Lu Ming. They opened their eyes and looked at Lu Ming, emitting a terrifying light. The strength of these Calamity Crossing ghosts was extremely terrifying. They were not comparable to the Calamity Crossing ghosts that Lu Ming had condensed from the black seed in the core region. The difference was too great. The Calamity Crossing ghosts in the Calamity Crossing Sea were the real Calamity Crossing ghosts. Even with Lu Ming's current strength, he would only die if he went against them. There are seeds. What made Lu Ming's eyes light up was that there were also seeds on this tree. There were a total of 4 seeds. 4 seeds. I must get them. Lu Ming did not hesitate. He carried the purple copper coffin and rushed towards the towering tree. The towering tree also immediately launched a counterattack. More than a dozen Calamity Crossing ghosts let out ear-piercing screams, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws, rushing towards Lu Ming. At the same time, hundreds of roots stretched out from the ground and swept towards Lu Ming, making a terrifying whistling sound. This kind of attack was truly terrifying. If the tree that Lu Ming had planted in the core region had this kind of attack power, the people of the heavenly human tribe would not be able to escape as long as they got close. This kind of attack was definitely not something that Lu Ming could resist. Fortunately, Lu Ming had the purple copper coffin. Lu Ming opened the lid of the coffin. The purple copper coffin exuded a supreme and mysterious aura. Once the roots of the big tree or the ghost came into contact with this aura, they retreated in horror, just like a mouse meeting a cat. Lu Ming was unimpeded. He rushed to the vicinity of a seed and successfully plucked it. Then he rushed to another seed and used the same trick to pluck another one. Soon, all 4 seeds were plucked by Lu Ming. Lu Ming retreated, distancing himself from this place. Then he took out a seed and examined it carefully. In the end, Lu Ming confirmed that this seed was almost exactly the same as the seed he had obtained previously. Lu Ming squeezed out a drop of blood and dripped it on the seed. This seed was completely under his control. Then Lu Ming grasped the remaining 3 seeds and left this place. There was still some time. Lu Ming wanted to continue searching to see if he could find more black seeds. Unfortunately, he did not find anything in the following period of time. He did not find any other trees, let alone seeds. Seeing that the 30-year period was almost up, Lu Ming could only leave and rush back. Fortunately, this trip was not in vain. He had obtained 4 seeds that could be of great use at critical moments. Lu Ming had a lot of confidence in the fight for the hidden area this time. After returning, he met up with Yiling. The 2 of them headed straight for the hidden area. This hidden region was located in the northernmost region. Previously, there had been people who had come here. At that time, this place had been isolated by a layer of powerful energy, and no one had been able to advance. Everyone had thought that this was the edge of a star palace. Who would have thought that there was actually a hidden region here? Chapter 4361. This hidden area was actually connected to the core area, but it had been isolated by a certain power. It could even be said that this hidden area was actually a part of the core area. Recently, that mysterious power had been growing weaker and fainter. The hidden area was also reflected in everyone's eyes. Although they couldn't go in yet, they could see a part of the hidden area from afar. They could vaguely see a few huge mountains crawling on the ground. Mist and desolation, qi filled the air. It was incomparably dense. One of the largest mountain ranges seemed to be shrouded in mist that was even thicker than the high-grade earth veins. A large number of people had gathered outside the hidden area. Of course, most of them were the heavenly human race, the top 10 races, and some smaller races, but there weren't many of them. These smaller races didn't dare compete with the heavenly human race. They just wanted to take a bite of the soup. The heavenly human race and most of the people from the top 10 races were looking at the hidden area with eager eyes. The Taishang Immortal City was divided into 36 star palaces. They were in one of the star palaces. Every star palace would have some magical places slowly emerge after the 30-year period. Some were immortal palaces, some were immortal palaces, some were immortal mountains, etc. Without exception, all of these wondrous places contained great opportunities. The mysterious place that appeared in the Star Palace they were in should be the hidden area. It contained a large amount of desolation chi. It was also a rare opportunity. Even many people who had reached the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God layer had eager eyes. It didn't mean that desolation pills were useless after reaching the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God layer. Actually, desolation pills were very useful for Great Supreme God layer cultivators. After reaching the 9th layer of the Great Supreme God layer, they could still absorb the energy of desolation pills. When ordinary people cultivated in the Great Supreme God layer, they could create a black hole in their dantian. When they broke through to the Great Supreme God layer, they would create a divine bridge in the black hole. This divine bridge would start from the black hole and extend into the depths of the black hole. It would lead to an eternal unknown place. The longer the divine bridge, the higher the cultivation. When one successfully connected it to the cosmic sea, they would be able to touch the origin and reach the origin realm. When a cultivator had the strength of the 9th Great Supreme God layer, absorbing the desolate pellet could increase the quality of the black hole and improve the control of the black hole in his dantian. The stronger his control over the black hole in his dantian, the easier it would be to construct the divine bridge in the future. In addition, he could also continuously use the energy of the great desolation pills to strengthen his divine body. The stronger the divine body, the more benefits there would be. Therefore, even cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God layer wanted the great desolate pellet. The more great desolate pills, the better. 3 more days. After 3 days, the mysterious force that isolated the hidden area will completely disappear. At that time, I will have enough desolate pills to break through to the 9th Great Supreme God layer. I need to accumulate more great desolate pills to strengthen my foundation and build a solid foundation for the Divine Master Realm. Some of the talents of the Heavenly Human Tribe, including those on the Universe Genius list, had the same thought. What they didn't notice was that not far away, there were 2 figures silently approaching and hiding in the dark, quietly observing. These 2 were naturally Lu Ming and Yi Lin. This time, Lu Ming and Yi Lin didn't plan to bring the Heaven Destroyer with them. They had already done all they could for the Heaven Exterminating Troop. Moreover, they needed a huge amount of desolate pills to break through. This time, they had to obtain enough desolate pills for themselves. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. On this day, the mysterious force completely disappeared. The scene in front of them suddenly became clearer. Swoosh! Swoosh! The Heavenly Human Tribe and the members of the top 10 tribes all rushed toward the hidden area. They all wanted to occupy an earth vein with dense, desolate chi. Soon, everyone disappeared into the hidden area. Lu Ming and Yi Lin finally appeared and rushed toward the hidden area. As soon as they entered the hidden area, the 2 of them felt that the desolate chi here was indeed denser. Soon, the 2 of them appeared near a huge mountain range. This mountain range was an earth vein. It should be an ordinary earth vein. At this time, a few smaller tribes were competing for this earth vein. Lu Ming and Yi Lin didn't stop. Their target was not an ordinary earth vein, but the highest level earth vein with the densest desolate chi. The 2 of them continued to fly toward the depths of the hidden area. After flying for a while, they approached an even bigger mountain range. The desolate chi in this mountain range was extremely dense. It was definitely a high-level earth vein. The total amount of desolate chi was even higher than the high-level earth vein in the core area. There were already people fighting for this high-level earth vein. They were 2 of the top 10 tribes. The hidden area was much smaller than the core area. The number of earth veins in the hidden area was definitely less than that in the core area. Fighting was inevitable. The 2 of them still didn't stop. Although the concentration of desolate chi in this high-level earth vein was very high, Lu Ming estimated that it should be able to refine more than 2 billion desolate pills. However, the 2 of them still didn't think much of it. Lu Ming needed 12 billion to break through now. The two of them flew past and continued to search. They didn't even look at the ordinary earth veins. Next, they found a few more high-level earth veins that contained extremely dense, desolate chi. Among them, there was a high-level earth vein that contained more than 3 billion desolate pills. It was already occupied by a group of heavenly human tribe experts. The two of them still didn't make a move. They still didn't want more than 3 billion desolate chi. They decided to look around. If there were no higher-level earth veins, they would occupy this one. After circling around, a huge object appeared in front of them. It was a huge mountain range, which was also an earth vein. It was bigger than any earth vein they had seen before. From afar, it was completely shrouded in dense, desolate chi. Such dense, desolate chi. How many desolate pills can it refine? Yiling sucked in a cold breath. Even a fool could see that the desolate chi in this earth vein was much higher than that of other high-level earth veins. It was not just a little higher, but much higher. This earth vein can refine at least 10 billion desolate pills, right? Yilin said, "It should be. This earth vein should be the highest level earth vein in the hidden area." Lu Ming said with a fiery light in his eyes. There was hope for him to break through to the 9th level of the divine God realm. 12 billion. Previously, Lu Ming felt that there was no hope for him. It was impossible for him to collect so many desolate pills. Now there was hope. Chapter 43:62. At that moment, several groups of people were fighting for that earth vein. Those people were all from the heavenly human tribe. They were divided into groups and confronted each other. There were more than 100 people in each group, and the leaders were all top prodigies. The heavenly human tribe was not a monolithic entity. On the contrary, the internal competition was more intense than any other tribe. The heavenly human tribe controlled the primordial universe and endless resources. If one had the right to speak in the heavenly human tribe, it was equivalent to controlling the entire primordial universe. Who wouldn't be tempted? Competition, suppression, and even killing each other would happen from time to time. They would only work together when facing a common enemy, like the heaven exterminating army. Once their interests were involved, the competition would be very intense. At that moment, the groups of heavenly human tribe cultivators were confronting each other. The atmosphere was tense, and a battle was about to break out. "I saw this earth vein first, so it should be mine. Don't go too far." One of the heavenly human tribe prodigies roared. He looked at the other groups with anger. "Ridiculous. You found it first, so it's yours? This is the Grand Supreme Immortal City. It's an ownerless land. Anyone has the right to occupy it." Another prodigy sneered. "That's right. If you want to occupy this earth vein, let's talk with strength." The third prodigy said, coldly with a strong fighting spirit. There were a total of 4 groups, and the leaders were all top prodigies. The fourth prodigy did not speak, but his cold eyes said everything. However, although the atmosphere was tense, a battle did not break out. If a battle broke out, it would definitely lead to a chaotic battle. The consequences would be unpredictable, and it would be difficult to predict how many people would die. Those people were their subordinates. If they lost too many people, it would be very detrimental to their future development. More importantly, none of them had the ability to suppress the other groups. Once a chaotic battle broke out, things would get out of control. They hesitated and confronted each other, but no battle broke out. "Damn it, let's go." In the end, a group of people retreated. Instead of wasting their time here, they might as well occupy another high-level earth vein. The high-level earth veins there generally had richer primordial chi than the high-level earth veins in the core area. It was not a bad idea to occupy one to refine pills. In that case, there were 3 groups of people left. They were still confronting each other and did not fight. "How about this? It's not a good idea to just stand here like this. Why don't we split the earth vein equally?" Finally, a paragon said, "Split equally." The other two sky prides began to ponder. All right, I agree. I agree too. Then the other two geniuses nodded in agreement. The great desolate chi in this earth vein was simply too dense. It was estimated to contain at least 10 billion great desolate pills, which was equivalent to 4 or 5 other earth veins. Even if the three sides split it equally, it would still be worth it. It all depended on who had more pill furnaces. The more pill furnaces he had, the more desolate pills he would be able to obtain. After the three parties finished their discussion, they prepared to fly into the mountain range and start refining pills. In the distance, Lu Ming and Yi Ling both looked disappointed. Originally, they wanted to wait for the heavenly human race to start a civil war so that they could sit on the mountain and reap the benefits. Unexpectedly, one of the 4 batches of heavenly human tribe cultivators withdrew, and the remaining 3 batches divided the earth vein equally. Since their hopes were dashed, they could only make a move. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 2 of them turned into 2 streaks of light and charged directly towards the earth vein. You guys don't have to discuss anymore. I want this earth vein. Lu Ming spoke, and his voice traveled far. His tone was filled with arrogance, which was especially ear-piercing to the ears of the heavenly human race. That was because half of the arrogance were played by the heavenly human race. Since when did someone dare to act like that in front of them? The 3 batches of heavenly human race cultivators looked in the direction of the voice in unison. Then they saw 2 young men walking in the air, their clothes fluttering in the wind. Mu Yin, it's you! The heavenly human race cultivators were stunned. Naturally, they recognized Lu Ming at a glance. However, they were really stunned. Lu Ming actually dared to appear in front of them of his own accord? Didn't Lu Ming hide whenever he saw them? What was going on? However, they were soon filled with excitement and greed. Who cared what was going on? Since Lu Ming had appeared in front of them of his own accord, they would just kill him. Killing Lu Ming would be a great contribution. Die. Those who reacted quickly had already attacked. The first one to attack was a young genius. His body was like a shooting star as he flew towards Lu Ming. A long spear appeared in his hand, and he thrust it forward with incredible power. Without a doubt, he was a top genius. He controlled the divine punishment force, had the cultivation of the 8th great supreme god layer, and had the battle strength of 9 stars. He wasn't any weaker than Yi Chu Haohen. If Lu Ming hadn't broken through to the 8th great supreme god layer, he would have barely been able to gain the upper hand even if he used his full strength. But now, whoosh! A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand and he thrust it forward. The 2 spear lights were like shooting stars as they collided in the air, emitting dazzling light. However, the process only lasted for a moment. Then, the spear light of the genius from the heavenly human tribe was destroyed. Lu Ming's spear light didn't stop. He continued to attack the genius from the heavenly human tribe. Fast, too fast. It was so fast that the genius from the heavenly human tribe couldn't dodge it. Ah, no! The genius from the heavenly human tribe let out an unwilling roar. Then, the spear light pierced through his forehead and destroyed his soul. A top genius from the heavenly human tribe had fallen. The other members of the heavenly human tribe were all shocked and their hearts trembled violently. They were shocked by Lu Ming's battle strength. As for the demonic genius's underling, he was even more enraged. You killed Prince Yuaning. You're courting death. Kill him. Kill him. The experts from the heavenly human tribe roared furiously as they charged towards Lu Ming and Yi Ling. At the same time, the other 2 groups of people also attacked. This time, they didn't dare to attack alone. They attacked together. Hundreds of attacks flew towards Lu Ming. Among them, there were about 100 cultivators of the 9th layer of the divine god realm. Compared to 20 years ago, there were obviously more 9th layer of the divine god realm experts in the heavenly human tribe. Apparently, many people from the heavenly human tribe had broken through to the ninth layer of the divine God realm. Generally speaking, the lower one's battle strength was the fewer resources they would need to break through to the next level. In other words, they would need fewer desolation pills. Not just a little, but a lot. Therefore, they would be able to break through to the next level faster. The top geniuses of the heavenly human tribe usually needed a lot of desolation pills. For example, the genius who had been killed by Lu Ming and Yi Chu Haohen, who was at the middle level, were almost as strong as Yi Ling. They controlled the strongest heavenly energy. The number of desolation pills they needed to break through to the next level was no less than Yi Ling's. To break through from the 8th layer of the divine God realm to the 9th layer of the divine God realm, they would need 2 billion desolation pills. Therefore, their cultivation bases were still at the 8th layer of the divine God realm. Chapter 43:63. There were more than 100 ninth layer divine gods, and many of them had 5-star or 6-star fighting strength. Although Lu Ming was facing them alone, he did not take them seriously. However, when so many of them attacked together, it was terrifying. With Lu Ming's current fighting strength, he did not dare to fight them head-on. Retreat! Lu Ming waved his hand, and a force wrapped around Yi Ling. He retreated rapidly and avoided the attacks. Then he rushed towards the mountain range. Don't let them escape. Kill them! Kill them! More than 300 heavenly human tribesmen charged towards Lu Ming and Yi Ling. At that moment, they seemed to have forgotten that they had just been confronting each other. They gathered together and formed a terrifying force. However, at that moment, Lu Ming and Yi Ling were already close to the mountain range. Lu Ming waved his hand, and a black seed flew out like lightning and landed on the mountain range. As soon as the seed touched the soil, it immediately sprouted. Then it grew at an astonishing speed. The growth speed was incredible. The heavenly human tribesmen who were chasing after them narrowed their eyes in fear. It's that kind of tree. Damn it. Why does he have that kind of tree? Retreat. The heavenly human tribesmen were terrified of the tree. When they saw the tree, their first reaction was to retreat. If they did not retreat, they would be killed. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Hundreds of experts retreated tens of thousands of miles in an instant. That gave the tree more time to grow. Originally, no matter how fast the tree grew, it would take some time. It had just grown, and it was not very powerful. Among the 300 heavenly human tribesmen, there were more than 100 ninth-layer divine gods. They were much stronger than they had been 20 years ago. If they joined forces and attacked the tree before it was fully grown, it would be possible for them to destroy the tree. Unfortunately, they had missed that opportunity. The tree grew rapidly and its branches extended. On the branches, there were more than 10 disaster-avoiding ghosts. When the heavenly human tribesmen reacted, the tree had already grown into a towering tree. Damn it. That kid wants to take over the ley line. We can't let him succeed. The heavenly human tribesmen stood in the distance and looked at Lu Ming with murderous intent. However, they did not dare to charge over. From now on, this earth vein is mine. If the heavenly human tribe dares to come close, I'll kill them all. Lu Ming spoke, his voice clearly transmitted into the ears of the heavenly human tribe. This made the celestial clan even more furious. They gnashed their teeth in hatred. He was too arrogant and simply unforgivable. Let's inform the others and gather the other cultivators of the 9th great supreme God layer. We'll set up the 9 heavens battle formation. We must kill Lu Ming. That's right. He thinks he can do whatever he wants just because he has such a big tree. I won't allow it. Gather the experts and destroy this tree. Angry roars rang out one after another. The anger of these heavenly human tribe members was about to burst out of their chests. Originally, They wanted to wait a little longer to accumulate more experts before dealing with Lu Ming. But now they couldn't wait any longer. These heavenly humans immediately went to inform the other heavenly humans. They planned to gather all the experts in this star palace and set up the 9 heavens battle formation to kill Lu Ming. Looks like they won't give up just like that. They'll gather the others and attack together, Yi Ling said. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled, looking calm and composed. He had more than 1 black seed in his hands now. In addition to the one that he had used, he still had 3 more. If one of the trees couldn't withstand it, he could use the other 3 at the same time. There was enough primitive qi in this earth vein. Even if he used up all the black seeds, it would be worth it. Let's refine the pills first, Lu Ming said. He moved and landed on a flat ground. With a wave of his hand, all the cauldrons flew out and landed on the ground. Then Lu Ming waved his hands. Waves of forbidden energy flew out and entered the cauldrons. The cauldrons started to absorb the primitive qi to refine the pills. The rich primitive qi in the area gathered toward the cauldrons crazily. Half a day later, the cauldrons were produced. Numerous primitive pills flew out of the cauldrons and were collected by Lu Ming. There are more primitive qi than the high-level earth vein in the core area, but not by much. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He found that the number of primitive pills produced by a cauldron here was slightly more than the high-level earth vein in the core area. However, it was only 30% more. Logically speaking, the primitive qi in this earth vein was several times thicker than the high-level earth vein in the core area. The number of pills produced by the cauldrons should also skyrocket. It should at least double. However, in fact, it was only 30% more. Lu Ming guessed that this was the limitation of the cauldrons. There was a limit to the number of pills produced by each cauldron. It didn't increase as the primitive qi increased. At this limit, no matter how rich the primitive qi was, the number of pills produced would not increase. Lu Ming was slightly disappointed. They only had 20 years to stay in the 2nd level of the Grand Supreme Immortal City. After 20 years, they would have to leave this place to compete for the Origin Seed. However, at this speed, it was impossible to refine 12 billion primitive pills in 20 years. Let's refine them first. If it doesn't work, we can only think of another way. By the way, there's still that guy's storage ring, Lu Ming pondered, and then a storage ring appeared in his hand. This storage ring belonged to the genius of the heavenly human race. He had led a group of people alone and was extremely talented. He wasn't weaker than Yi Chu Haohen. Such a top genius must have a lot of cauldrons. As expected, he didn't disappoint Lu Ming. There were hundreds of cauldrons in this person's storage ring. There were cauldrons with a diameter of 1 meter and 3 meters. Even the primitive pills were worth more than 200 million. It was a big harvest, a really big harvest. More than 200 million primitive pills were nothing. The most important thing was that there were more than 100 cauldrons. What Lu Ming lacked the most now was cauldrons. Because the primitive qi in this earth vein was rich enough and there were enough cauldrons, he just didn't have enough cauldrons to refine it. As long as there were enough cauldrons, he could continuously convert the primitive qi into primitive pills. As expected, this kind of genius has a big harvest. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. This kind of genius led a group of people and had the most resources in their hands. Killing one of them was a big harvest. Unfortunately, this kind of genius was usually very difficult to kill because they were protected by a group of experts. The previous one was completely careless. He underestimated Lu Ming and attacked Lu Ming alone. He wanted to kill Lu Ming alone, but he was killed by Lu Ming. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be that easy to kill such a genius with a group of experts protecting him. Lu Ming put down more than 100 alchemy cauldrons, activated them, and continued to refine elixirs. Chapter 4364. With 100 more cauldrons, Lu Ming's alchemy speed had greatly increased. For more than 10 consecutive days, Lu Ming refined elixirs day and night. After 10 days of alchemy, Lu Ming could roughly estimate the number of pills he could produce in a year. In a year, he could make about 200 million desolation pills. It was still not enough. 200 million in a year. That would be 4 billion in 20 years. It was still far from the 12 billion he wanted. He could only take one step at a time. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. They're here, Lu Ming muttered as he looked into the distance. In the distance, there were flashes of rainbow light. Many figures were flying over. They were all from the heavenly human tribe. There were more than 1,000 of them. Compared to the other tribes, the number of heavenly human tribe members was small. However, the heavenly human tribe members were too talented. Any one of them would be considered a genius among the other tribes in the universe. Therefore, 1,000 heavenly human tribe members was definitely a terrifying force. Yi Ling also noticed the heavenly human tribe members. He came to Lu Ming's side and looked serious. Soon, the 1,000 heavenly human tribe members arrived near the earth vein. Their powerful auras changed the color of the sky. 9th layer divine gods. Set up the 9 heavens battle formation. This time, we must get rid of Mu Yun. Set up the formation. Get rid of Mu Yun. Everyone will benefit. Begin. Many figures were heard. Then one figure after another stepped out and stood in various parts of the void. Those people were all cultivators of the 9th great supreme god layer. 369th layer great god layers. Lu Ming muttered. This time, the heavenly human tribe had sent 360 heavenly human tribe members. It was a grand lineup. 369th layer divine gods of the heavenly human tribe set up the 9 heavens battle formation. Their auras intertwined and merged, forming a huge figure. This figure was also a heavenly human tribe member. He wore a crown on his head. He was a heavenly human king. He held a battle sword in his hand. His aura was majestic as if he was the ruler of the universe. He was too tall. Standing in the void, he was even more majestic than a mountain. Boom! He took a step in the air, causing the sky and the ground to tremble. A violent aura rushed towards Lu Ming. The battle sword was 100,000 miles long, and it slashed down towards Lu Ming's head. Such an attack was too terrifying. If it was placed in the starry sky of the universe, it could destroy a large area of the starry sky. Block it. Lu Ming's heart stirred. From the ground, tree roots rushed out. Hundreds of tree roots formed a shield in front of the battle sword. Boom! The battle sword slashed at the shield, causing the shield to shake violently. The roots on the shield were broken one by one. Although it managed to block the attack of the battle sword in the end, the shield made of roots was split in half. It's broken. The tree's defense has been broken. Seeing this scene, all of the heavenly human clansmen were overjoyed. That was because the 9 heavens battle formation had not used its full strength yet. That was because it was just a probing attack. Mu Yin, let's see how you'll die this time. Without the protection of the tree, you'll die without a burial place. Many people shouted coldly, especially Yi Chu Hao Han. He looked ferocious and wanted to crush Lu Ming into ashes. As expected, a tree can't block it. At this moment, Lu Ming whispered. Originally, he had thought that if the tree could block the attack of the heavenly human clansmen, he would not use the other black seeds. After all, those black seeds were very precious and rare. But now he had to use them. A black seed appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and he threw it on the ground. When the black seed touched the ground, it immediately sprouted and grew rapidly. Seeing this, the eyes of the heavenly human clansmen almost popped out. Damn it, he still has seeds. Attack, attack, kill him in one fell swoop. Quick, the black seed needs time to grow. activate the battle formation, and kill him. Many heavenly human clansmen shouted angrily. The 360 experts at the 9th level of the Great God Realm reacted immediately. They activated the battle formation to kill Lu Ming. The gigantic king of the heavenly human clan immediately brandished his battle sword and slashed towards Lu Ming. At that moment, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. Another black seed appeared in his hand, and he threw it in another direction. It immediately sprouted. When the battle sword slashed down, the first tree attacked again. Hundreds of roots rushed out of the ground and formed a defense. The roots of the tree were cut off, and they immediately grew back. At the same time, some thin roots appeared and intertwined with the thick roots of the first tree. These thinner roots were the roots of the 2 newly planted trees. Even though they had not fully grown yet, they were already very powerful. Furthermore, the tribulation overcoming ghosts also rushed toward the battle swords. This time, the king of the heavenly human clan's battle sword was even more powerful than the previous one. Those crossing disaster ghosts were the first to bear the brunt of the attack. Their bodies trembled violently as they were sent flying one after another. However, that also weakened part of the battle sword's power. The remaining power of the battle sword landed on the shield made of intertwined roots. The shield shook violently, and the roots on it broke one by one. However, in the end, it was blocked. Damn it! Use your full strength! Use your full strength! I'll let you use your full strength! Use your full strength! Use your full strength! Behind them, the geniuses of the heavenly human clan, who had not participated in the battle formation, shouted furiously. Especially Yi Chu Haohen, he almost jumped up. Lu Ming had taken out a 3rd black seed. How many black seeds did he have? He was anxious. Those black seeds were growing too fast. If he delayed any longer, he would miss the opportunity. However, the person who had set up the battle formation had not used his full strength yet. Actually, the people who had set up the battle formation also had their own difficulties. Even though they had successfully set up the 9 heavens battle formation, they had come from different factions and followed different geniuses. They would compete and kill each other. Although they had learned how to set up the 9 heavens battle formation, they had never practiced it before. Now that they had set it up at the last minute, it was inevitable that they were a little rusty and could not use it as freely. If they could not use it freely, they could not use it even if they had the strength. That sword strike just now could be considered the most powerful one, unless they were more proficient in the battle formation. With that delay, the 2 trees planted at the back had already grown rapidly and became towering trees. Although they were not as tall as the first tree, their power was already very shocking. Burn the power of the heavens, quick! One of the heavenly human clan monsters roared and gave the order. Use your full strength. The other heavenly human clan monsters also roared. The heavenly human clan members who had set up the battle formation had no choice but to risk their lives. The power of the heavens in their bodies began to burn fiercely. Chapter 43:65. The heavenly humans who set up the formation used the power of the heavens to increase the power of the 9 heavens battle formation. The heavenly human king's aura became even more terrifying. He waved his incomparably huge battle sword and slashed it down again as if he was going to split the entire earth vein in half. However, there were already 3 trees here. The other 2 trees were almost mature. Hundreds of roots danced in the air. It was a shocking scene. The roots gathered together. This time, they did not form a shield. Instead, they intertwined with each other to form a giant staff. It was a giant staff that was completely formed by intertwining roots. The giant staff struck out toward the opponent's battle sword. However, almost 50 calamity-avoiding ghosts had already flown out in front of the giant staff and charged toward the battle sword. Boom! Boom! The 3rd clash erupted. This time the heavenly human tribe went all out. Although the power of the 9 heavens battle formation was stronger, it was still able to withstand the attacks of the Nine Heavens battle formation with the help of the three trees. In fact, it was even easier than the previous 2 times. After all, the three trees were now mature and powerful. Damn it! Damn it! The heavenly humans roared in anger and indignation. In the end, they ordered the heavenly humans to retreat. They had already burned the power of the heavens earlier, but they still could not break through the defense of the three trees. There was no need to continue attacking. The aftereffects of burning the power of the heavens were too great. After the Nine Heavens battle formation moved back and out of the attack range of the trees, they dispersed the Nine Heavens battle formation. The figure of the heavenly human king dissipated in the air. "What should we do now?" someone asked. "I didn't expect that kid to have so many black seeds. I really don't know how he got them," Yi Chu Haohen said in an extremely displeased manner. "The three trees are not invincible. The main thing is that the Nine Heavens battle formation that we set up is not very smooth and can't fully unleash the power of the Nine Heavens battle formation. I suggest that we spend some time to familiarize ourselves with the Nine Heavens battle formation and practice it a few more times. That way, when the Nine Heavens battle formation can operate freely, its power will increase greatly and we will definitely be able to break through the defense of the three trees," a heavenly human prodigy suggested. "I agree. I agree too." The others nodded in agreement. Then they began to practice their battle formations. They didn't plan to avoid Lu Ming. They practiced not far away, deliberately letting Lu Ming see them. In this way, it would create a huge psychological pressure on Lu Ming, causing Lu Ming to be unable to refine pills in peace. Swish! Swish! 360 cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer were moving in the air. Their chi was boiling. It seemed like there was a special thread connecting the 360 cultivators of the 9th Great Supreme God Layer. A huge figure condensed and swung its sword continuously. After a few hours of practice, the battle formation dispersed again. After everyone rested for a while, they resumed their practice. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. As the heavenly human tribe continued to practice the battle formation, their coordination became more and more coordinated. The power of the battle formation also increased rapidly. If this continued, when the battle formation was operating at its peak, it might really be able to break through the defenses of the three trees. Far away in the sky, Yi Chu Haohen and a few other top prodigies looked at Lu Ming coldly. They seemed to be telling Lu Ming to wait and see. It won't be long before they kill him. These people are really endless. I can only make you despair then. Lu Ming's face was a little gloomy. Then a black seed appeared in his hand. He had a total of 4 black seeds. Now he took out the 4th one. With a wave of his hand, the black seed flew out and landed on the ground. Then it started to grow rapidly. In the distance, the heavenly human tribe who were practicing the 9 Heavens battle formation stopped and stared in Lu Ming's direction with their eyes wide open. The other heavenly human tribe members who didn't participate in the 9 Heavens battle formation were also stunned. Their eyes were wide open as they stared in Lu Ming's direction. Anger, confusion, indignation, and other emotions appeared in their eyes. Ah, damn it! Finally, Yi Chu Haohen couldn't take it anymore. He looked up to the sky and roared. His golden hair fluttered in the wind. He looked crazy and helpless. He was really going crazy. He had been tortured by Lu Ming. Every time they were about to see the hope of killing Lu Ming would personally destroy this hope in the blink of an eye. It was too uncomfortable and too aggrieved. Mu Yin, don't rely on the tree if you have guts. Fight with your own strength. What's the point of relying on external objects? Yi Chu Haohen shouted. If relying on external objects isn't a skill, then defeating me with your numbers and suppressing me with a battle formation is a skill? If you want to fight with your own strength, fine. Come on, let's fight one-on-one. Lu Ming said indifferently, full of sarcasm. Yi Chu Haohin shut his mouth. His face was red, but he didn't dare to fight. Previously, a genius who was as powerful as him was killed by Lu Ming. How could he dare to fight with him? Unless his cultivation broke through to the 9th level of the divine god realm. Unfortunately, he was still a little lacking. He didn't have enough chaotic pills. Trash. If you don't dare to fight, then shut up. Lu Ming scolded. Ah. Yi Chu Haohin roared and almost vomited blood. The faces of the other heavenly humans were also very ugly. They stared at Lu Ming as if they were going to skin Lu Ming alive. Lu Ming's face was calm. In just a short while, the 4th tree had grown into a towering tree. There were a total of 4 trees standing on the ground, like for majestic guards. The people of the heavenly humans were troubled. The defensive power of the 3 trees was already extremely terrifying, but there was one more tree. Even if they practiced the 9 heavens battle formation to perfection, they might not be able to break the defense of the 4 trees. The most important thing was that they didn't know if Lu Ming had any more black seeds. The black seeds in Lu Ming's hands seemed to be endless. They were very tired. In the end, the people of the heavenly humans discussed for a while and prepared to retreat. Of course, they wouldn't give up so easily. They were thinking of other ideas. That was because in the last 20 years, the space barriers between the different star palaces would become weaker and weaker. Some powerful beings would even be able to cross the star palaces and travel between the different star palaces to obtain opportunities. They were waiting for the space barriers between the star palaces to weaken so that they could find other heavenly humans in the other star palaces to deal with Lu Ming. After the heavenly humans retreated, Lu Ming and Yi Ling returned to the earth vein and continued to refine chaotic pills. Lu Ming's rhythm had returned to normal. As he refined the desolate pill, he comprehended various secret skills. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years passed. In 10 years, Lu Ming had obtained 2 billion chaotic pills. In addition to the remaining 200 million and the 200 million he got from the heavenly humans, he had 2 billion chaotic pills. Chapter 4366. However, Lu Ming still owed Yi Ling 500 million desolation pills. After returning the 500 million desolation pills to Yi Ling, Lu Ming still had 9 billion desolation pills left. However, Yi Ling had collected enough desolation pills for his breakthrough. He began to refine the desolation pills and began to break through. As long as he had enough desolation pills, breaking through was not a problem. 10 days later, Yi Ling had consumed more than 2 billion desolation pills and successfully reached the 9th layer of the divine god realm. After reaching the 9th layer of the divine god realm, Yi Ling's combat strength had increased tremendously. He was no weaker than the current Lu Ming and could be considered a top divine god. Lu Ming, I'll give you all the desolation pills that I'll refine later. I hope you can break through the 9th layer of the divine god realm soon and become an invincible divine god. Yi Ling said to Lu Ming, "Thank you." Lu Ming nodded and did not refuse. The desolation pills were too important to him. As long as he broke through to the 9th layer of the divine god realm, he would be almost invincible in the divine god realm. It was very important for him to fight for the origin seed later. He really needed the desolation pills. He understood that even though Yi Ling had reached the 9th layer of the divine god realm, the desolation pills were still very useful to him. They could solidify the black hole in his dantian, strengthen his control over the black hole, and increase the strength of his divine body. Therefore, this was a great kindness that he would remember in his heart. If there was a chance, he would repay Yi Ling more. But now was not the time to be courteous. Yi Ling did not say much. He returned to his previous place and continued to refine pills. There are still 10 years. Even if I add Yi Ling's pills, it's still too late. I have to think of another way. Lu Ming whispered. He now had 9 billion desolation pills. He was still 10. 1 billion away from the 12 billion he needed to break through. In the next 10 years, even if he injured Yiling, he would not be able to gather 1 billion. After some time, I'll go out and see if I can get more pill furnaces, Luming thought. His target was, of course, the heavenly human tribe. He wanted to see if he could sneak attack them and steal some pill furnaces. It would be best if he could get some desolation pills. Lu Ming still had dozens of ordinary secret arts that he hadn't finished comprehending yet. He planned to finish comprehending all the secret arts he had on hand before going out for a walk. At this time, a certain void in the core area suddenly distorted. After a few flashes, a group of figures appeared. There were only 13 of them. All of them were from the heavenly human tribe. The leader was a young, heavenly human tribe member. The remaining 12 people were all in their prime. Their auras were extremely shocking. They were like volcanoes that had yet to erupt, containing terrifying energy. Is this the mighty Sky Star Palace? I wonder what kind of miraculous place will appear in the Prestige Star Palace. You guys go and investigate. If you find anything, come back and report to me. The young man from the heavenly human tribe said, "Yes." The 12 burly men accepted the order and left in a flash. The young man from the heavenly human tribe waited on the spot. He didn't have to wait for too long before the 12 of them all returned. Yeah, I did. To the north of this place, there's a hidden area with high-level earth string energy that's extremely rich in your wild's chi. A middle-aged man said, "There's actually a hidden area. Interesting. Let's go take a look." The young man from the heavenly human tribe said. Immediately, the young man from the heavenly human tribe led the 12 men to the hidden area. In the hidden area, above a high-level earth string energy. This high-level earth string energy was also extremely rich in your wild's chi. In the hidden area, it was second only to the one occupied by Lu Ming. It was estimated that all of the Your Wild's chi had been condensed into Your Wild's pills. There were at least 5 billion of them. This place was occupied by 2 groups of heavenly human tribe members. The leaders of each group were top prodigies who were not weaker than Yi Chu Haohen. The young men from the heavenly human tribe from the other astral palaces led the 12 burly men to the vicinity of this earth string energy. Looking at the earth string energy that was filled with Your Wild's chi, the young man from the heavenly human tribe's eyes lit up with greed. Ha ha ha! There's actually an earth string with such rich Your Wild's chi. This earth string energy is mine. The young man from the heavenly human tribe, Yalugu, said. They didn't stop and directly headed toward the earth string energy. Who's there? Stop right there. This is the territory of the heavenly human tribe. How dare you? A cold shout was heard. Following that, a dozen figures shot up into the sky and arrived in front of Yalugu and the others. They were the elites of the heavenly human tribe. However, when the elites of the heavenly human tribe saw Yalugu, their expressions changed drastically. Young Master Yalugu, why are you in the Prestige Star Palace? The elites of the heavenly human tribe were shocked. Their eyes were filled with reverence as if they were afraid of Yalugu. Why can't I be here? Now that the barrier between the astral palaces is getting weaker, I naturally crossed the barrier to come here. Whose men are you? Ask your master to come out and tell him that I want this earth string energy, Yalugu said lightly. His voice was heard far away. The elites of the heavenly human tribe looked troubled. Yalugu, aren't you being too overbearing? You want to occupy our earth string energy as soon as you arrive? That's right. You've gone too far. 2 youthful voices were heard. Following that, 2 groups of people flew out from 2 different locations of the earth string energy. The 2 elites who had spoken just now were the leaders. Their talent and combat strength were not weaker than Yi Chu Haohen's. The 2 groups of people added up to more than 200. It was a grand scene. However, Yalu Ji's expression was as calm as ever, as though he didn't see anything. He calmly spoke. In the supreme immortal city, there's no such thing as going overboard. There's no such thing as tyrannical. There's only strength. Everything depends on strength. Yelu Ji's chi exploded out of his body. You've already reached the 9th great supreme god layer. The expressions of the two geniuses changed greatly. They knew how strong Yelugo was. Yelugo had 10 stars of battle strength. They had 9 stars of battle strength and were considered the top elites of the heavenly human tribe. However, Yelugo was stronger than them. He had 10 stars of battle strength. 10 stars of battle strength was rare even among the elites of the heavenly human tribe. He was one of the few who stood at the top of the pyramid. Moreover, he had reached the 9th great supreme god layer. His battle strength was terrifying. Ordinary 9th great supreme god layers would not be able to withstand a single blow from him. Their advantage in numbers was useless in front of Yelugo. Moreover, they could not use the 9 heavens battle formation against Yelugo because Yelugo was extremely proficient in the 9 heavens battle formation. He knew all the strengths, weaknesses, and operating methods of the 9 heavens battle formation. The 9 heavens battle formation could not do anything to Yelugo. They could not do anything against Yelugo. You'd better leave and give up the earth string energy. Otherwise, it will affect the harmony between us. Yelugo said indifferently. The other two wanted to curse out loud. He was going to occupy their earth string energy, and he still said that it would affect the harmony between them? Shameless. Yelugo, didn't you want the earth string energy? Actually, there's an even higher grade earth string energy here. One of the Sky Prides rolled his eyes and said, Chapter 4367. The eyes of the others also lit up. They understood what this prodigy meant. Getting someone else to do the dirty work. There's a higher level ley line. Don't think you can fool me. Yelugo said, his eyes flickering. Whether it's true or not, you'll know once you go there. How can I fool you? Let me tell you, the total amount of desolation chi contained in that ley line is at least twice as much as this one. Also, you'll be very interested in the person who occupies that ley line. He's Mu Yin. A prodigy said. What? Mu Yin? Upon hearing Mu Yin's name, Yeluji's eyes lit up with the flames of greed. Is what you said true? Is it really Mu Yin? Yelugo asked again, his breathing becoming a little rapid. How exciting! It's Mu Yin. As long as I kill Mu Yin, I can be conferred the title of Son of Heaven. Although he had a 10-star combat strength, he still wasn't qualified to be the Son of Heaven. That was because the Son of Heaven or Daughter of Heaven had at least an 11-star combat strength. He was still 1 step away. Although it was just 1 step, it was still a huge gap. Perhaps he would never be able to cross that step and become the Son of Heaven. However, as long as he killed Lu Ming, he would immediately succeed. It's true. The others nodded. Mu Yin. The greed in Yeluji's eyes became even more intense. However, he quickly suppressed it. He thought of a problem. Yeluga glanced at the others coldly and said, If Mu Yin is here, won't you go and kill him? He didn't believe that anyone could resist the temptation of being the Son of Heaven or Daughter of Heaven. We went, but we couldn't kill him. Mu Yin controlled a strange tree with terrifying power. A prodigy explained. A tree? Haha. In my opinion, you guys are too useless. Go, lead the way. Mu Yin is mine, Yelugo said in a commanding tone. The 2 prodigies were extremely unhappy, but they didn't show it. It's good that you can deal with Mu Yin. It's best if both sides are injured. I'll let you guys fight each other. The 2 geniuses of the heavenly human tribe thought unhappily. Naturally, they wouldn't refuse. They led the way and headed towards the earth vein where Lu Ming was. Soon, the earth meridian that Lu Ming was in appeared in front of them. Staring at the vast earth vein, Yeluji's eyes burned with passion. His gaze was as sharp as lightning, piercing through layers of space and accurately landing on Lu Ming. Mu Yin. After seeing Lu Ming, Yalu Ji's eyes were incomparably fiery, like two burning flames. Above the earth vein, Lu Ming naturally discovered Brother Yalu. "You're here again. I didn't go looking for you, but you came by yourselves." Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a trace of hostility. "Mu Yin, come out and face your death." Yalu Gu stepped out, moving closer to the earth vein. "You want to kill me? Come, I'll wait for you here." Lu Ming's voice echoed in the distance. "Humph! Don't think you can do whatever you want with a few trees. The others can't kill you because they are trash. You won't be able to be smug in front of me." Yalu Gu snapped coldly and increased his speed, aiming to kill Lu Ming. "Brother Yalu, wait a moment. Let us clear the path for you." "We'll go first." "Brother Yalu, there's no need to take the risk." The 12 muscular men that Yalu Gu brought with him blurted out and chased after Qin Nan. Yalu Gu nodded and did not force himself. He let the 12 muscular men go first while he followed behind from afar. What a pity! Lu Ming let out a sigh. He initially thought that if Yalu Gu were to rush over, he would control the 4 trees to eliminate Yalu Gu. He could tell that Yalu Ji's identity was definitely not ordinary. Such a person would surely have a large number of cauldrons. If he could eliminate Yalu Gu, his speed of refining the desolation pills would greatly increase. Unfortunately, Yalu Gu was being too cautious. Wait, the heavenly human tribe doesn't seem to be on good terms with each other. If that's the case, I can pretend to be weak first. Lu Ming's heart stirred as he thought of an idea. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yalu Ji's 12 subordinates gathered together and rushed towards Lu Ming. These 12 people were all at the 9th layer divine god realm, and their battle strength was extremely strong. All of them had 6 stars of battle strength. If one's battle strength did not reach a certain level, it would be difficult to break through the barrier between star palaces. These 12 people were able to break through the barrier between star palaces and follow Yalu Gu to the prestige star palace. Die! Lu Ming shouted softly. The ground shook and densely packed roots rushed out, sweeping toward the 12 burly men. The 4 huge trees were activated by Lu Ming. Close to 400 root hairs swept toward the 12 heavenly human tribe warriors at the same time. The scene was extremely astonishing. Formation. The 12 muscular men formed the 9 heavens battle formation and condensed a huge battle sword. The battle sword slashed out and turned into hundreds of sword lights, slashing towards the roots. Although there were only 12 of them, they were all elites. All of them possessed 6-star combat strength, and a few of them even possessed 7-star combat strength. The 9 heavens battle formation, formed by the 12 of them, was extremely powerful. Boom! 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 A series of explosions sounded, and the roots were cut off by the sword lights. Die! The 12 muscular men shouted angrily and rushed towards Lu Ming. Dazzling sword lights slashed towards Lu Ming. They wanted to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically, and he roared furiously. Dozens of crossing disaster ghosts dashed out toward the 12 burly men and collided with the sword gleams that they condensed. Only then did they manage to block the sword gleams of the heavenly human tribe. That's all there is to it. Yalu Gu sneered. The other heavenly human tribe members were confused. That's not right. Why did the power of the 4 trees weaken? When we attacked back then, the power of the trees was much stronger. The thought crossed the minds of the other 2 geniuses. Then, they wondered if Lu Ming was deliberately showing weakness. Should they remind Yalu Gu? The 2 leading sky prides of the heavenly human tribe looked at each other and chose to remain silent. The competition between the heavenly human tribe was also incomparably fierce. Yalu Ji's talent was a level higher than theirs, suppressing them in every aspect. The resources he obtained were also more than theirs. If they could get rid of Yelugu with Lu Ming's help, wouldn't their competition be reduced? As for whether it would help Lu Ming, they didn't think about it. There were many powerful cultivators in the heavenly human tribe. In the heavenly palace, there were the 9 sons and daughters of the heavens. Even if they couldn't kill Lu Ming, someone would kill Lu Ming sooner or later. If they could get rid of Yelugu with Lu Ming's help, why wouldn't they? Therefore, they chose to remain silent. Since the 2 leading sky prides didn't speak, their subordinates naturally wouldn't speak either. Chapter 4368. You guys block these trees, I'll go kill Muyin. Yelugu ordered the 12 burly men. Don't worry, young master. Leave these 4 trees to us. We'll definitely block these trees. The 12 burly men replied confidently. They felt that they had figured out the strength of the 4 trees through the previous exchange. Swoosh! Swoosh! They attacked with all their might, activating the 9 heavens battle formation. Dazzling sword light burst out, slashing towards the dozens of crossing disaster ghosts and hundreds of roots. Yelugu had already made his move. He took a step forward, as if teleporting, and pounced towards Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. So strong! Lu Ming squinted his eyes slightly. As soon as Yelugu struck, he felt tremendous pressure. He had a feeling that he was not Yelugu's opponent in a head-on confrontation. However, he did not plan to attack himself. He stood there calmly, waiting for Yelugu to come closer. In an instant, Yelugu was about to reach Lu Ming. His body was shrouded in a layer of terrifying energy. This was the heavenly extermination energy. Now kill! Lu Ming shouted, ordering the 4 trees to attack with all their might. Whoosh! 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 The roots of the trees suddenly danced wildly, their power skyrocketing. They swept out, shattering the sword light formed by the 12 burly men. At the same time, under Lu Ming's feet, more than a dozen roots rushed out from the ground, like a dozen long snakes, sweeping towards Yelugu. That terrifying aura caused Yelugu's expression to change drastically, becoming incomparably unsightly. That was because those roots brought him a fatal crisis. Destroy! Yelugu roared. Both of his palms struck out in succession. Several grayish palm imprints blasted out, aiming at the dozen or so roots. The grayish palm print was completely formed by the power of heavenly extermination, and it collided with the dozen or so roots. In an instant, heaven and earth shook violently, and the force swept out in all directions. However, the next few palm prints were destroyed by the dozen roots. The roots did not stop, continuing to bombard Yelugu. Damn it! Yelugu bellowed in anger. He couldn't care less about killing Lu Ming as he retreated rapidly. He already understood that just now Lu Ming had been feigning weakness in order to draw him closer. The power of the 4 giant trees was far more terrifying than he had imagined. Since they couldn't kill Lu Ming, they could only retreat. However, how could Lu Ming let him retreat? Some of the roots that had been fighting with the 12 burly men earlier had already rushed over. No matter how hard the 12 men tried, they couldn't stop the roots. At least 100 roots swept towards Brother Yelu. Yelugu was surrounded from all directions. Countless roots were trying to envelop him. Ah! Yelugu roared. His palms turned completely gray, as if they were made of gray metal. His strongest attack was his palm technique. Boom! 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 He continuously attacked with his palms, and in an instant, dozens of palm prints were blasted out. Each palm print was as large as a small mountain, blocking him from all directions. The roots of the giant trees slammed into the palm prints, causing a violent explosion. The palm prints kept shaking and crumbling one after another. Whoosh! Finally, a root broke through the blockade of the palm prints and whipped towards Yelugu. Yaluga was hit, and his body was almost split in half. He spat out blood, and his face was pale. "Why aren't you helping Yaluga? How dare you leave him to die? I'll sue you when we get out." One of the 12 men shouted angrily at the other 2 groups of people. "Do it!" The 2 Sky Prides ordered. Indeed, the heavenly human tribe had always been united in the face of a common enemy. If they didn't help Yaluga get killed, they would also be punished if word got out. The other 2 groups of people attacked. Hundreds of attacks were launched towards the roots. However, it was too late to do anything now. The 4 giant trees had a total of nearly 400 roots, and there were nearly 50 disaster-avoiding ghosts. As long as a part of them blocked the attacks of these people, the attacks on Yaluga didn't stop or weaken at all. No matter how strong Yaluga was, he was only one person. He couldn't resist the attacks of hundreds of roots. He tried his best, but he could only resist for a few breaths. After a few breaths of time, his attack was broken, and the tendrils shot toward Brother Yalu. Yaluga let out an unwilling roar and tried to resist, but it was useless. He was continuously whipped by more than a dozen roots, and his body exploded. Then his flesh and blood were completely devoured by the roots. Only a storage ring was left in Lu Ming's hand. Ah, damn it! Mu Yin, you dare to kill Yaluga. Your fate will be miserable. You're dead. Your family and friends are all dead. The 12 men roared as if they had gone crazy. "I think you're the ones who are dead," Lu Ming said coldly. In an instant, hundreds of roots and dozens of disaster-avoiding ghosts attacked the 12 men. With a loud bang, the 9 heavens battle formation set up by the 12 men collapsed. Then, hundreds of roots attacked together. The 12 men didn't even have time to scream before they were killed. Their flesh and blood were completely devoured. Lu Ming stepped out. Like a bolt of lightning, he flashed through the air and grabbed the storage rings of the 12 men. "Retreat! Retreat!" The other 2 groups of people quickly retreated and disappeared without a trace. After the battle calmed down, there were 13 storage rings in Lu Ming's hand. "Let's see the harvest." Lu Ming quickly did a count. In the end, Lu Ming found a total of nearly 300 alchemy furnaces in the 13 storage rings. This was an extremely shocking harvest. Lu Ming was ecstatic. With 300 pill furnaces, he could refine at least 100 million chaos pills every year. This allowed Lu Ming's annual output to reach 300 million chaos pills. He was one step closer to his goal. Hunting the heavenly human tribe is still profitable. If there are a few more of them, I'll definitely be able to gather the chaos pills I need to break through in 10 years. Lu Ming thought. However, it was only a thought. If it weren't for the 4 trees, it would be impossible to kill an expert like Yaluga. After leaving this place, it would be impossible for Lu Ming to kill the other geniuses of the heavenly human tribe. Lu Ming activated the 300 pill furnaces together and began to refine pills. A few days later, some of the geniuses of the heavenly human tribe gathered together and began to discuss how to deal with Lu Ming. "We can't leave Mu Yun alone. He's getting more and more pill furnaces. If this continues, his cultivation will increase, and he'll be harder to deal with." "That's right. The barrier between the star palaces is getting weaker and weaker. Let's go to the other star palaces to find help. It's best if we can find the sons or daughters of heaven to kill Mu Yun." "I have no objections." "I agree." Chapter 43-69. Now, some of the barriers between the star palaces had become weak. Those who were powerful could already break through the space and enter other star palaces. Some powerful elites had already started to cross the star palaces to fight for opportunities. The mighty star palace was the star palace where Lu Ming and the others were. A few elites of the heavenly human tribe came to a space barrier and tore through the space to find other elites of the heavenly human tribe. Lu Ming and Yi Ling were still in the earth vein, trying their best to condense the desolation pill. A few months later, Lu Ming had finished comprehending all the ordinary secret skills. They had all turned into secret skill runes and merged with his cells. Unfortunately, his combat power was still at the limit of 12 stars. He had not broken through to 13 stars. Of course, it was also because the secret skills that he had comprehended were only at the beginner level. They were far from reaching the greater success level. There were close to 20,000 ordinary secret skills that were still at the beginner level. Lu Ming believed that once he mastered all these ordinary secret skills, his combat power should be able to reach 13 stars. However, it would take a long time and effort to master all 20,000 ordinary secret skills. He had no time to cultivate them now. He could only wait until he left the Grand Supreme Immortal City and slowly comprehend them. At this time, Lu Ming planned to go out for a walk. However, before Lu Ming could make a move, someone else had already arrived. Needless to say, it was the heavenly human tribe again. Lu Ming looked into the distance and saw a group of heavenly human tribe members coming over. There were about a dozen young, heavenly human tribe members in the lead. They were all handsome. There were both men and women. One look and one could tell that they were extraordinary. Behind them were more than 200 strong, heavenly human tribe members. Their auras were also very powerful. They were all elites. These heavenly human tribe members stopped in the distance and glanced at Lu Ming. "Mu Yin, come out and die." A burly young, heavenly human tribe member stepped out. His eyes were unusually cold. "Come in and die if you dare." Lu Ming shouted. Of course he would not go out. "You dared to kill my brother, Yaluge. I will make you suffer a fate worse than death," the burly young man shouted. This young man was Yalu Ji's older brother, Yalu Di. "You sure talk a lot of nonsense. Your brother talks as much nonsense as you, and in the end he died. If you have the ability, then come in and kill me." Lu Ming immediately retorted. "Humph. Do you think we can't do anything to you if you hide inside?" Yalu Di said coldly, then waved his hand. "Bring them out." Immediately, a few burly heavenly human tribe men came out with two people. Upon seeing these two people, Lu Ming's pupils suddenly shrank. "Dandan Ling Yue." Lu Ming muttered and frowned. That's right, these two people were Dandan and Ling Yue. They had always been in the heavenly palace, but now that they were pushed out by the people of the heavenly human tribe, Lu Ming had a bad premonition in his heart. Dandan had a crying face. When he saw Lu Ming, he immediately shouted, "All right, Mu Yun, so you're here. Back then, you borrowed a few hundred stalks of divine medicine from me and then disappeared without a trace. I've been looking for you for hundreds of years, but I couldn't find you. Now, hurry up and return the divine medicine to me. Otherwise, don't blame me for falling out with you." After saying that, Dandan turned to the Celestial Tribe and said with a smile, "Lords of the Celestial Tribe, let me tell you, this Mu Yin is ungrateful. I helped him a few times because he was an honest person. I didn't expect him to be so ungrateful. Today, I'm breaking off all relations with him. Bah! I wasn't familiar with him before." Dandan did his best to distance himself from Lu Ming. As for Ling Yue, she was in charge of looking at Lu Ming. She bit her lips and didn't say a word. "Humph, don't talk nonsense here. We are very clear about the relationship between the two of you and Mu Yin." Yalu Di coldly snorted and interrupted Dandan's words. Then Yalu Di looked at Lu Ming and said, "Mu Yin, you have stayed in the heavenly palace before, so you should be clear that the two of them are controlled by the restrictive power of the heavenly palace's armor. Right now, the method to control that restrictive power is in my hands." At this point, an array disc appeared in Yaludi's hand, and he continued, "As long as I have a thought, the restrictive power in their bodies will explode. At that time, their bodies and souls will be destroyed, and nothing will be left behind." Lu Ming's expression was extremely ugly. What he was worried about still happened. When he first joined the Heavenly Palace, he, Dandan, and Lingyue were too close. Furthermore, he and Lingyue were still an unmarried couple in name, so it was very easy for the Heavenly Palace to grab hold of them. Although he had broken through the power of the Heavenly Palace's armor and left the Heavenly Palace, he had always been worried about Dandan and Lingyue, afraid that the Heavenly Palace would deal with them. Sure enough, the people of the Heavenly Palace were starting to threaten him with Dandan and Lingyue. Mu Yin, so what if you're hiding inside and have 4 big trees protecting you? Now, I'll let your friend and your fiancé go in and kill you. Let's see if you have the courage to kill them all, hee. Yeludi laughed coldly. His laughter was extremely sinister. Then his gaze swept towards Dandan and Lingyue, and he berated, "Now, the 2 of you go over and bring Mu Yun's head over. Let me tell you, if you don't kill Lu Ming, then you will die under the power of the restriction, and your bodies and souls will be destroyed. Nest, you guys are too despicable. If you have the ability, then go and kill him yourself. Using such a method, aren't you afraid of being ridiculed by the world? I finally know your heavenly human race. The word despicable is tailor-made for you guys." Dandan shouted. "How dare you?" Yeludi shouted loudly. His figure flashed and appeared in front of Dandan. With a slap, he sent Dandan flying a few meters away and berated, "You dare to insult the heavenly human race. Do you know that this is a great crime that will exterminate your race? Be careful that the world's divine turtle race will be exterminated because of you." F***CK. Dandan roared in his heart. His eyes flashed with a fierce light as he stared fiercely at Yeludi. Who was he? When had someone dared to slap him? He was incomparably furious. If his life wasn't in the other party's hands, he would have immediately gone all out. "Lu Ming, what should we do?" At this moment, Yiling appeared beside Lu Ming and asked Lu Ming in a low voice. Lu Ming didn't say anything. His face was incomparably gloomy. To be honest, he didn't know what to do either. This was a dilemma. The people of the heavenly human race had forced Lu Ming and Lingyue to kill him. Could he control them to attack Dandan and Lingyue? Even if he controlled the big tree and didn't kill Dandan and Lingyue, but only controlled them, the heavenly human race would probably activate the power of the restriction to kill Dandan and Lingyue. However, if he didn't resist, he would be killed. How should he choose? On one side was the lives of Dandan and Lingyue, and on the other side was his own life. Of course, he didn't want to die, but he also didn't want Dandan and Lingyue to die. However, for a moment, he couldn't think of a way to solve this problem. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.